you're doing nothing, blah, 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 blah. Don't get me wrong. On my days off, I try to keep myself occupied. Like yesterday, I went and worked on Tough Enough for a really long time. Bree and I got the tonneau cover installed, so it has this really nice tonneau on the back, and I messed with the clutch master cylinder to get everything kind of back to the way it was to set up the concentric slave cylinder to see if we can bleed it. And then go from there. I did a lot of work on it yesterday. The tonneau cover is really nice. It's a really nice tonneau. So yeah, Red Sloth, dude, this day right here where I'm just playing Satisfactory and we're going to do some nice chill space news and we just go in and I can put that overdrive mind that I have to good use and just grinding out stuff in Satisfactory. That is my mental health. That's what makes me feel better. And I want to make sure I can build myself back up to the point where I can do that in KSP again. Because for a second there, I was really, really half-assing stuff. Like, I half-assed the stuff with the like, it kind of clicked. Like, I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. I half-assed the SSTO, finishing the SSTO development. I half-assed it. Why did I half-ass it? Because I tried to install that mod that tried to make things easier. And it ended up complicating things even more. I took a shortcut, and I paid for it. Like, we paid for it with the SSTO. If I didn't take that shortcut, the SSTO is flying right now. And we're doing missions, like, real good. If I just didn't get impatient. You can't get impatient with this stuff. So I noticed that all was happening, and, you know, then I was like, okay, we'll just launch the Freedom Rocket, blah, blah, blah. So we launched the Freedom Rocket, and I put a payload that was way too heavy for it. I didn't even bother to do the basic Delta V equations out, and we lost the Freedom Rocket now. See, that's what I mean, dude. Just half-assing stuff is no good. Trying to take that easy road never works. It never, ever, ever does work. You got to sit there and you got to persevere. So I saw that was happening, and I think it was stemming from me not getting enough sleep. So I'm trying to get enough sleep, and look at the difference. Do you see the difference here? I was up at 3 in the morning. No problem. We covered STP-3, no problem. I went back. I got 8 hours of sleep, right? And then I started a couple hours later. No problem. Everything's good. Look at how much more awake I am. See the difference here? Those 2 hours really, really, really make a difference. All right, Mo. I'll see you later. Pool night at the Crow's Nest. Nice meeting you. Get some rest, my guy. Right on, dude. Mo, I work, dude. My parents work. Freaking Mo, you know the type. My parents work. Freaking my cousin's a freaking plumber. The other one's a firefighter. The other one's an EMT. The other one's an HVAC guy. My brother-in-law's an HVAC guy. Like, I come from workers, man. Mo, you know that type of blue-collar people that I'm talking about. That's my family, dude. And I take no exception because it's streaming, you know? Freaking, we were all watching the Patriots game yesterday and yelling obscenities at the television, you know? Like, that's how it rolls, man. And that was a good game, too. Streaming his work. Anyway. Hey, Daniela, thank you very much for the bits. I really appreciate it. I like Sleep Deprived EJ. It's the closest I'll get to PUBG EJ ever again. Yeah, so this, dude, it's not that I don't believe in burnout. But what I do believe is that, if you notice yourself burning out, some people just burn the candle at both ends and keep going, right? What I do, and this is what I've always done, is I safeguard against burnout. I safeguard against it. It's not that I don't necessarily believe in it. It absolutely can happen. We just don't want to, right? But I also believe at the same time that, the reason you burn out is because you put your foot on the gas pedal and you don't let go, right? And dudes, this is more personal experience at this point, right? This is more of my personal experience. I find that I don't really burn out on things. Like, there's stuff that I don't want to play, right? But stuff like a game like KSP, even right now when I just don't really feel like playing it, dude, I know me. I know in a couple of weeks I'll be like, yep, let's do it. I'll be chomping at the bit again to play Kerbal. You know what I mean? That's just how I roll. So, like, I put in, like, kind of safeties into my streaming schedule to safeguard against that stuff by playing other games. That's what After Hours was. That's how After Hours got started. That's what racing is. It just switches everything. You change the pace. Change the pace. Don't just play the same thing. That you can't, like, nobody can do that. And that safeguards against burnout. It's like NASA. You put in fault redundancies into your design, right, to make sure that nothing goes wrong. Burnout is a failure mode for a stream, right? For a streamer, that's nothing but a RUD for a streamer. You don't want that. So you gotta put in safeguards, you know? And getting sleep is part of getting that safeguards. And I'm still trying to figure out my whole technical mission complexity here for streaming. Streaming is still relatively new, but I'm figuring it out, and I'll figure it out, and we'll keep going. Simple as that. Anyway, I'll be back in a second. I'm going to put up the title card for a moment, and we'll get into space news, dudes. Your manager at the 99, honey? Yeah, right on, dude. We watched it too. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Can we watch a starship land? Okay. The title card was good. That's just basically mark space news. I don't need to take a break, guys. I started a little bit on the later side. 35-month reset from hired. Trifa. Yeah, right. Yeah, Poison, you got to safeguard against it. I've always safeguarded against burnout by a couple of different things, dude. You know, one is like going in. It's not so much taking care of myself, but taking care of my surroundings. Taking care of my surroundings helps me big time. So like going and cleaning the kitchen, going and make sure you have, you know, you make your bed every day. Those small things, however mundane they might be, really, really help. That's my mental health fix. Like, you know, if I have one, I mean, like, you know, just be like, it literally boils down to just being a functioning adult. Just go pay your bills on time. Pay your bills on time, do taxes on time, pay rent on time if you have to do that, or a mortgage, right? Clean your house. Just take a couple hours out of the day and clean the house. Like, you'd be surprised how much that makes a difference. You know? That stuff really helps. Like, really helps. You won't see it. And it's like, the best kind of changes are the ones that you don't really notice in your head. Like, you're not going to notice that your kitchen is always clean, right? But it's one of those things that does... You don't see it helping, but it absolutely does help. It's boring. Yeah, of course it's boring, but you have to do it. Going to the bathroom is boring, Ando. That's why people go on Twitter when they're on the toilet. Going to the bathroom is boring, but you still got to do it. It's just another thing, man. It's just another thing. Yeah, I get it. It's boring. So put on a YouTube video and listen to a podcast or a YouTube video while you're doing it. Then it's not boring anymore. Just like what you would do if you were taking a dump. Same thing. Bathroom boring. You guys aren't bathrooming right. Listen to me. Whatever. Hey, I don't mind being people's background noise. I've never made any delusions about that. I don't care. Twitch is cutthroat, man. People can watch anybody. People can buy a cheeseburger anywhere. They come to EJ's for the atmosphere and the fun. Chat. You see, there's viewers that have like multiple pieces of flair next to their name. And if you don't want to have pieces of flair, you're not expressing yourself. And all I'm saying, chat, is that, we encourage you to express yourself with more flair next to your name. No problem, Red Sloth. Dude, it's little stuff like that. Little stuff like that helps. It helps. Like for me, yesterday I took a maintenance day. And you know what my maintenance day was? Putting a stupid tonneau cover on my truck. To make sure that the bed doesn't get messed up during the winter. Here, I'll show you guys. Brimo posted this while I was working on the truck. She's like, "Give me your phone. I'm gonna tell people about this." I'm like, "All right."
Go and throttle up.
So I put this. It's hard to tell from this picture, but we put this really nice Truxedo tonneau cover on. It's really nice. And now the bed, I just put all my tools and everything in the bed of the truck. This is the construction yard. It's at the very back of this construction yard out in, not in Western Mass, but a little ways out. And I had all the lights set up and everything, and we were working on the truck. Hey, Horizon, thank you for the raid. Devious with a 20-month resub. Also, I DM'd the seller who had all those rocket launch negatives and secured all 56 remaining ones in the lot. Nice. That's awesome, C22. So you're saying I need more flare? Just tell me how many pieces. Well, J-Speed, you know, Drummer over there has 47 pieces of individual flare. Well, actually, how much do you have? J-Speed, you have 80 pieces of flare and a 5-year flare badge and a Prime Gaming and the sword badge. So you're expressing yourself very, very good. Is that the 250? It is, Flask. Yep. Yep, Horizon Side. Hey, thanks for the raid. What was Horizon Side talking about today? You have one glorious F-250 there. Thank you. Centaur, T-Man, by a long shot. Centaur can't stand up by itself when it's unpressurized. Starship can. And even Starship, dude, 4 mil thick, 4 millimeter. So, like, maybe that. Like, about a quarter of an inch. Nuclear reactor design. Ooh! What kind of nuclear reactor design? Which ones? Talking about boiling water reactors? Graphite tipped rod reactors? RBMKs? What are we talking about here? Yeah, and Sebi, 15. Felt like doing something good today. Thanks, buddy. Danke. I really appreciate it, Sebi. But hey, you gifted 10 this morning and then had a not so tier 3 resub. I appreciate it. All of the above? That's cool, Will. That's cool. Let me guess. Somebody brought up a thorium salt reactor. I cannot talk about nuclear reactors without someone bringing up a molten salt reactor. I can't do it. Every time I say, you know, nuclear power is really good, someone goes, oh, well, what about the salt reactors? I'm like, yeah, okay. Birthday money. Oh, you don't spend your birthday money on me. Jeez. Earlier generation reactors from the 60s. Permanently sealed reactors in current-day submarines. Next Tuesday will be newer designs. Yeah, they're just salty. What about the molten salt reactors? Down here, salt is a way of life. You're great background noise for working at home. I have to admit I have no idea what's going on sometimes. There's other things taking forward, but I love space and wish I would have chosen it over civil engineering sometimes. Thanks for what you do. Pilch, just because you're in civil engineering doesn't mean you can't go into the space program. Who do you think designs the launch pads? But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Who do you think designs all those launch pads? It's mechanical and civil. Have you heard about the working fusion reactor that generated more power than it used? Yeah. Unobtainium pepper reactors. Yep. 4 mil is slightly under 1/6 of an inch. Thanks, Jordan. The Gen 4. Yeah, absolutely. I personally like BWR reactors. The Mark III BWRs are a really good design. Very, very failure-proof. But, once again, nothing is failure-proof completely. But I think BWRs are a really good way to do things. The IXPE stack is on the pad waiting verification. Credit for spaceflight now. All right. Let's talk about some space stuff then, I think, huh? All right. But yeah. But that was my mental maintenance from Nice. That was my mental maintenance from yesterday. I just went and worked on the truck for a little while. Brimo and I put the tonneau on it. I started, you know, I had to fix some things with the clutch master cylinder that I screwed with the other day because I was troubleshooting. But yeah, I'm really, really hoping that, you know, the bleed lines are the only thing that's wrong with that thing. So I was really hoping there's just air in the lines, and that's what's keeping the clutch from working correctly. Anyway, let me transfer all of this stuff here. Yeah, Bon, that's a big one to talk about. How about hydrogen reactors? Hydrogen reactors. Fill the tires to the max to prevent flat spotting your tires and dry rot. Oh, yeah, Sawyer. Yeah, that's a good idea. Or I'll just put it up on stands. Keep the tires off the ground. But yeah, Sawyer, I actually plan on going over there pretty routinely and starting it up and moving it a little bit, you know. But yeah, it's all right. That lot is not that far from me, so it's something that I can do on the day off and go and mess with it. Thomas, what's that? They're putting the Booster 6 top bulkhead segment onto Booster 6 lower thrust dome assembly. Must be a test tank. Okay. Here, check this out. We'll start with a video coming from Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. I thought you guys would appreciate this one. We're getting a little bit of a new addition here. Bird! Oversized load. Yeah, indeed. Spec for the upcoming MS-20. Okie dokie. I see, I can't click on them. Okay, I think I got all of it. It's the only remaining Falcon Heavy demo hardware that's in one piece on Earth. Oof. It's very weird because I've literally walked right where that vehicle is. I've walked and driven right there multiple times. That's very strange to me. Also the Kometo. Yep. Which core is that? Is this the one that was TICOM? Thomas? This is the TICOM booster, right? That was refitted? They did. Yep, they did, Ando. Oh, cool, Hellfish. The Leaning Tower of TICOM. I'm pretty sure that that's that booster. I think this is the CRS-9 core. Ah, dang. Yo, this picture next to the S1B, though. Look at how much of a unit the Saturn 1B was. Man, that thing was a beast. You know what's strange? Falcon 9 in expendable mode can move as much as a Saturn 1B can into space. That's a little bit strange, don't you think? That just shows you kind of where the tech ended up. The nerves of that driver. Yeah, I know, right? A Falcon 9 in expendable mode, single stick, no legs, no grid fins, can move about 22,000 kilos into space. Saturn 1B can move 22,000 kilograms, excuse me. Saturn 1B can move 25,000 kilograms, which is pretty nuts. That's pretty crazy to me. I mean, look at the difference. Falcon 9 is very thin comparatively. But then again, I'm pretty sure that the Saturn 1B does have more Delta V, and it has a Hydrolox upper stage, which is... Oh, nice, Gene. There you go. That's cool. Hey. Oh, God. Oh, geez. Parallel parking, man. Oh, that's... How are you going to do that? So the Saturn 1B is still a better rocket. Well, Saturn 1B cores don't come back and land, Hellfish. Preferably, you know what would be really good? Taking a Falcon Heavy and putting an S4B on top of it. Now we're talking. That would be a very good little rocket. Yeah, so take from the USA, from that stripe forward, and put that on top of Falcon Heavy. That would be a very, very nice rocket. Bing chilling. How to snap your core in one easy step. Shh. Shh. Alright, fine, Sia. And you want to play this game? Fine. Take an S4B and put it on top of Delta 4 Heavy. We can play this game if you want. That way you standardize the hydrolocks, alright? We need a... Okay, point. We need a higher C3 upper stage, okay? Also, congratulations on the launch. Great mission. Perky! 43-month resub. How are you? Hello. Okay, look for confirmation. This is the TICOM booster. That's awesome. No, Cloudboy. Not even close. That's really cool. Maybe a full Falcon Heavy could probably move a fully fueled upper stage to space, but that's just the upper stage. Is this building new? Yep, this is the new space exhibition place, space exhibition area at KSC. I forget what it's called. KSCVC. This is the visitor center. Yeah, they hung this thing from the rafters, man, which is really freaking cool. Look at that. What an operation that was. Freaking hanging the sucker from the rafters. That's really cool. The Gateway building is what it's called. There you go. Yeah, Simple Rockets is cool. Pythos, yeah. Isn't that cool, Perky? Yeah, the Gateway building. I think it's going to have more Falcon 9s in there, believe it or not. So... check this out. There's the shuttle. Atlantis is in this building over here. You should go see that, by the way. There's an IMAX theater right here. Astronaut, that's the fallen astronaut memorial right there. There's a T-38. Over here is the rocket garden. They have Titans, Jupiter C, Delta 2, Saturn 1B, Mercury Atlas, Mercury Redstone, Atlas Agena. There's a bunch of stuff over here. And then there's a lot of awesome exhibits about different space programs. And then about different parts of the space program. There's an F1 engine sitting right there. Yeah, and then the Gateway building will have a Falcon 9 in it, which is really cool. Yeah, the Delta 2 was actually recently added. They just put that thing out there. That's a real Delta 2. It's just been passivated in a way that it can stand itself up for a long period of time. And then over here is the tour area. See the tour buses? They'll take you on a tour around Kennedy, where they stop at the Saturn V Center, which is over there. Last for the Gateway plans. Interior plans. Let me take a look. So they'll have an Orion, a Starliner, a Falcon Heavy core. What is this thing? Cygnus? How much do I have to lobby for an adult space camp? Nothing. It already exists. Speaking of Starliner, what's the current state of it? They're doing fault tree analysis on why those valves rusted out. That's going to take some time, WD. It's definitely a strange one. That's a... So, another angle. take a look. I can talk about it real quick, but yeah, here, take a look. Beast mode. Oh, that's gonna be cool. You know what? You know what's really special to me, Thomas? I saw that booster fly. Hello?
Hi.
What's up?
Nothing. I just wanted to come say hi.
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Hey, that looks cool. Is that a KFC?
Yeah, that's the new Gateway building that they're working on. It has the... I was just telling them, that has the Falcon Heavy booster that we saw fly. I've seen that booster fly.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you we need chicken for...
Okay, I'll get some tomorrow.
I have like half a breast in there, but...
You can have that. I'll get chicken tomorrow.
Alright.
Cool. Say hi to chat.
Hi, chat. How are you? Y'all are cool, I guess.
You guess. The disrespect.
I was gonna call him cute, but that would have been weird. So I didn't do it.
Alright. If peeing your pants is cool, Jay, consider me Miles Davis. Better be getting her something nice or something under the tree. Yeah.
Unsub from Brimo? I don't know why you're subbed to me in the first place.
Wow. Damn, son.
It's just honesty, man. Is that where the shuttle used to be, though?
No, it's next to it. The shuttle's over there.
Oh, okay.
This is another building over here.
Okay.
Yeah, see, we've walked all up in here.
Yeah. You missed 3D printer streams? Tell EJ to fix the printer. It's not level. I asked you to level it like a year ago. What?
Signer, it's Shooting Star. I saw it from the other angle. Fix the printer, EJ. Fix the printer. I'm gonna throw you under the bus for your boss next time. With your boss next time you're on a conference call, okay?
You're your own boss. Plus, this like.
Don't make excuses. You know what you did, and now you feel bad about it.
No, I really.
As you should.
No, because I asked you a year ago to do this.
It's your freaking stream.
It's our stream, comrade.
Gotta live with a filthy red over here. It's ridiculous. Comrade.
Alright, I'm gonna leave. I just wanted him to say hi.
Alright, cool.
I don't have a life. Chat is my life.
Ew.
I know. Oh, there's a launch at 2 a.m. today?
I know.
Is that still a thing?
Yep.
There's still one tonight, too?
Let's take a look. Yeah, we got MS-20 at 2:38, and then Electron is tomorrow at 6:45, and then Falcon 9 is tomorrow at 1.
Why do they hate you?
Hey, all these launches are when I would be streaming anyway, except for maybe that one. But that's fine. I'm not complaining about this stuff. This stuff's great. And then NS-19 is supposed to go tomorrow, which
But it doesn't even have a time.
Yeah. Because Blue Origin.
Blue Origin?
They'll probably launch right when we have to do stuff. I have a doctor's appointment on the 8th. Right now, there's no rocket launches. There's 3 rocket launches that are basically on the 8th, right? And I know that Blue Origin, I can see it coming. They're gonna fly NS-19 when I'm at the doctor's office. I know it's gonna happen.
It'll be fun.
Yep.
The big boss.
I'm your bad boss.
Alright, I leave now.
Alright.
I love you.
Love you too. Cupcake, let's see. I remember back in the 90s getting my mind blown seeing Kennedy seeing the Saturn V. Back then there was a bit of the tower structure left. Now everything is all gone. We did both blue and red bus tours and saw pretty much the whole complex and drove right by a shuttle prepped on the pad for a launch a few days later. That's cool, man. Yeah, KSC is really a national freaking treasure, man. It's really cool. Is the Blue Origin the suborbital launch? Yep. Oh, that sucks, Badger. Yeah, we got a lot of launches, dudes. There's a lot of stuff. Speaking of MS-20, we have some prep footage coming from Roscosmos here if we want to check that out. The MS-20 is a space adventures mission. It's a tourist flight to the ISS that has Alexander Misurkin, Yusaku Maezawa, and what's the name of the last? Yusaku Maezawa's assistant. Yusaku Maezawa, you might know that name if you're familiar with spaceflight. He's the guy that heavily invested in Starship. Like heavily invested into Starship. So, he's actually he's heavily invested into Starship for the Dear Moon missions, which are crew flights, which is a crewed flight for Starship in 2023 that's going to fly around the moon. He wanted to. He also just decided to buy a Soyuz flight into space for him and his assistant, commanded by Alexander Misurkin, because he didn't want to wait. NS-19 is on the 9th at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's on the 9th? Oh, good. Good. The Udvar Hazy Center got a plane added to their collection. What plane? Jackie Cochran's T-38. Cool. Oh, that's really neat. Yeah, anyway, let's go take a look at the stack here. Let's see. I just gotta check the footage. So that's the one we need first, second, third, and fourth. All right, here. Let's take a look. Hey, Pilch, 6-month resub. Thanks, buddy. So this is the meeting for final integration, safety. The safety meeting here. What do we have here? I'm not sure what's in the box. We can look in the box. Apollo, 11-month resub. Is this the first Altaurus Soyuz launch? No. Oh, launch escape system. Soyuz's LES is in there. How's that for an unboxing video? Also, how many Soyuz launch escape systems do you think this crate has moved? At least one. Yep. Yep. There's the LES for Soyuz. Hopefully they never have to use that again. This is the only type of unboxing video that I like. Yeah. Would you think it could have moved a plethora? Yes, you could say that's moved a plethora. Okay. This is capsule integration to the third stage. There's the pilot dowel. Oh, lift it. Hello. Xeon, they're not wooden. That's a FOD cover. Think dust cover on an M4. Same thing. Only they remove them, just like the dust cover would flip down, right? They're not wooden composite nozzles, guys. They're FOD covers. Anything that's red on this thing is something that is removed before flight. That's a general thing with aviation. Got a counterweight right there. everything they do looks very raw compared to the fine arts of U.S. rocketry. I mean, the equipment that the Russians use to move the stuff around is not. It's not that it's antiquated. It's that it still works. So why change it? If you look at the flight hardware, though, the flight hardware is pretty good, pretty cutting edge stuff. Guys, I don't think that's wood. I think that's a FOD cover. Pretty sure. Either that or the nozzle is some kind of heat-treated metal. I don't think it's wood. Pretty damn sure. Looks like Bakelite, maybe. Now this thing is going to go up here and attach to this sucker. See, that's a FOD cover right there. At least I'm pretty sure it is. But see that there's this bracket thing right there? I'm pretty sure this thing comes off. I'm pretty sure. I don't ever remember that being on the final design. And also, see this step out right there? I'm pretty sure that's just a cover. But I could be wrong. Who knows? If that's the final design, guys, then that's some sort of a blader. But I don't know why you would want an open rocket cover here. But whatever. Hello. Ooh, that's nice. And now they're gonna put the capsule with the LES in the third stage. They're gonna attach it to the second stage. Yeah, if anything, that's just an ablator for the nozzle. It is, yeah. Yusaku Mizawa's logo is on this thing, yep. And there's your umbilical. Interstage adapters here. There's the raceway. You can open that up. Yep. That's the separator, the box of the separator. That's an explosive bolt right there, and they're gonna put a frangible nut on this thing. There we go. So when Soyuz separates, there's a frangible nut and an explosive bolt. This thing blows up. It basically cracks itself in two, and the explosive bolt falls into this compartment right here. The frangible nut up here is what's holding that explosive bolt and the rocket, by proxy, together. The frangible nut blows up and splits in two. When it splits in two, it stays inside of this compartment. They do that because they don't want an explosion happening to the rocket engine that's right behind this. Atlas does stuff like this too. So does Delta, for what it's worth. This is a really, really simple way of making separators. They basically have an explosive bolt with a shotgun shell built into it. And they fire the shotgun shell and it blows the bolt in half. And then the bolt will fall down into here. Gravity will push that thing down, and then the nut will explode in two, and it'll stay contained inside of this metal box, so it doesn't blow up next to the damn rocket engine. You guys' mind seems pretty made up that those are supposed to be there, so we'll just say it's supposed to be there and literally let it go. Hopefully not with people attached, because that means something went wrong. Alright, here's the meeting for the rollout here. Once again, this is the MS-20 launch. This is scheduled to go a little later tonight. Do SpaceX use explosive bolts? No. SpaceX use all mechanical latching systems, Sanchai, because reuse. There's the TEM2. Hey, nice locomotive. The TEM2, this guy is based off of an Alco RSD, which is really cool. because, you know, I like Alco engines. American locomotive engines are some of the best locomotive designs ever. And that is a Russian version of one. So it's got like plus 50 to durability. Just saying. There we go, rolling out. Nice. Tried and true. That's right, Cupcake. That TEM2, once again, this is based off of an Alco RSD. Alco did some business with the Soviets, right, back in the day, and during Lend-Lease and stuff, and the Russians liked the design so much they just made their own, made their modifications to it, and converted it for broad gauge. Yeah, it's a good locomotive. TEM2Us are really nice, really good design. I applaud the Russians in their choice of locomotives. Hello. Is the capsule under a fairing for Soyuz? Yep. Most capsules up until Dragon and Starliner jacks fly inside of a payload fairing because of the launch escape system. The reason why Dragon and Starliner won't do that is because they have integrated launch escape systems, meaning that they're using an integrated launch escape system that's using hypergulls instead of a solid rocket motor. Because of that, you can integrate your launch escape system into the service module, or in Dragon's case, right into the thruster systems, the Super Dracos. So there's no need for this thing up at the top, and there's no need for a fairing around the vehicle. It simplifies the design a little bit. Now, Boeing did that because, once again, it's a little bit simpler to do that than for capsule reuse, because Starliners are planned on being reusable, and I will talk about Starliner because people want to hear that. And then SpaceX did it because reuse as well, because they didn't want to make a nose cone that had to be jettisoned every time. Now, older capsules like the Apollo capsule, Soyuz, those things fly inside of payload fairings. The reason why is because when the launch escape system, when it pulls instead of pushes, it needs to pull the capsule with it. And the fairing is there, A, for aerodynamics, and B, in case something goes wrong, they can use the LES or the traction motors, the RTG traction motors in here to get the capsule and the fairing away. In the event of a launch escape system jettison, these things trigger down here. Those grid fins actually hold out, and they passively stabilize the system if it needs to abort at high velocity. Yes, Hellfish, that's correct. But they found that parachutes are easier. Hey, Skunks, what's going on? Do the train tracks go directly to the pad, and why don't the Russians use an SBMT of sorts? Russian infrastructure is mostly built around trains, tactical, just like ours is built around trucks. So SPMTs work for us, trains work for them. Seriously, the Russians really didn't have a national highway system, so to speak. They really put a lot of infrastructure development into trains. That, and believe it or not, trains are really good at holding the load of something like this. We use trains too to move Atlas to the pad. We use trackmobiles. It's just vertically integrated instead of horizontal. But yeah, this train line, the reason why they just kept using the trains is because these components are brought in by train in pieces. The second stage is brought in 2 pieces. The RP1 and the LOX tank are 2 separate pieces. These are brought in by train. Third stage, capsule, everything's brought in by train. So you might as well make the train lines go right into the hangar, which is exactly what they do. And then they just pick the parts up off of the car and put the rocket together and then have the same train move it out to the pad on its erector. SD90s, yes. The DD40. Oh, good old DD40s. I tell you, Cupcake, when 4014 started driving around again, that really made me happy. It really was a sight to see. I've never seen it. I've only seen video, but... Yep. So, this is actually pretty cool. See these 2 pads right here? The erector is going to move back, and then it has 2 hydraulic stabilizers, And the hydraulic stabilizers actually fold down and they attach to these pads right here. And that's how they pivot the rocket. That's how they can pivot Soyuz kind of up and into the pad without the erector going over the side. They have these pins these huge hydraulic jacks that fall down here, and they attach right to these two pads right here. They'll probably show it, because the Russians show everything, which is really cool. Hello. Yeah, see, after this, the hydraulic jacks are in the downward position, and then one big freaking hydraulic ram pushes this thing into the vertical position. Hello.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Puff it. All right, then. We'll call it a draw. 42-month resub. Oh, I see. Running away, eh? Another important thing to understand is that the Russians really only have a lot of train lines right now is because a lot of their infrastructure that they did have got wiped out in 1944 and 43 and 42. So they've been they had to build that back basically from scratch after that, yeah. What would happen if they lost hydraulic pressure right now? I'll bet you there's a locking system on this thing, Xeon, that basically will hold it in place. Like, think about like a car lift. Either that or they have two-fault redundant hydraulics like an aircraft would. Our interstate system hails from the same era. Yeah, that's true. What are you gonna do? Bleed on me? I'm invincible! You're a loony. Keep in mind that Soyuz's erector is just an erector. It's just a TE, transporter erector, no launcher. So this thing right here, the green thing on the side, is not used to launch the vehicle. All that thing is used to do is to move the vehicle to the pad and place it on the pad, and then it leaves. These things with these little gantries on the top, those are the hold down points. Soyuz is actually most modern rockets have a hold down mechanism that's at the very bottom of the rocket. Soyuz is a little bit different. Soyuz, because they couldn't figure out a way to have the boosters kind of held to the pad because the igniter system for the boosters is actually down there. Soyuz's rocket engines can't start by themselves. The only one that can start by itself is the one in the third stage. These things down here, you know how they start them? They stick a match up the nozzle and then turn the valves on. Serious. Yeah, they stick a big glorified match and then they strike the match when they turn on the pre-valves. The match catches some of the oxygen RP1 mixture and they combust, and that causes a vacuum that spins up the engines. Yeah, Astra does the same thing for what it's worth. How do people get in? The rotating surface structure gantries here on the side singularity, you'll see. Yeah, they'll stick a match up the end. It freaking works. It's simple. It doesn't need to be complicated. But because they have all that infrastructure down there to start the engines at the bottom from the first and second stage, they couldn't put hold down points down there. You don't have room for all of that. So Soyuz is held up by its second stage. That's what these are attached to. What we would say in the West, we'd call it a core stage. The core stage is actually what's holding the rocket to the pad. These things are holding the core stage. The hold down points, it's like grabbing it by the scruff almost. Hey, that was only one time, Sebi, okay? Watch. The erector will go back down. And they'll put the twin rotating service structures up. And that's how you get in. There's an elevator built into this thing. Now, more modern Soyuz pads have a mobile service tower, which is a lot more Western-like. They'll roll the mobile service tower, which is a big hangar, vertical hangar, and then they'll do integration that way. The two pads that have those hangars are at Vostochny, which is the Russians' eastern cosmodrome, eastern spaceport that's out by Japan, and the Kourou site in French Guiana that the ESA uses to launch Soyuz, which we saw launch a Soyuz the other day. They have the mobile service towers. The pads at Plesetsk, the Soyuz pads at Plesetsk, and the Soyuz pads at Baikonur have the rotating service structures, which is a little different. This is an older design. That's right, Thomas. Yep. Yeah, kind of like when people thought the sparkers under the shuttle was to light it. Yeah, I used to think that a long time ago, Cupcake, when I didn't know what the heck was going on. Now, the space shuttle engines are GSC activated. The space shuttle engines have no starter motor on them. That you need the launch pad to activate the RS-25s. And part of that is the sparkers. Those are radial outward firing igniters. What they do is when you start the shuttle engines up, you're going to have a big cloud of hydrogen gas that comes out. And they don't want it to basically do the rocket equivalent of having like a carburetor backfire. Like if anybody's got ignition timing wrong on a car before, and the carburetor's backfired, it goes pop and it can damage the carburetor because flow is going out the top of the carburetor instead of in. That's not good for it. In rocketry, that type of phenomenon is called a hard start. You do not want to hard start a rocket engine. Hard starting a rocket engine usually leads to it exploding. So they have the radial outward firing igniters to be able to purge off the hydrogen that comes from the startup process. Because hydrogen is a pain in the butt. It goes everywhere you don't want it to go, and it's very easy to explode if it finds an oxidizer. Yeah, yeah, kind of, right? Yeah, for reference, SN-11, when SpaceX was trying to land it, it hard started its engines and it blew the entire thing up. They didn't find any discernible pieces of that thing. Except for maybe like the front grid fins. So that means the thing totally exploded. Like, totality. What are the red towers used for? Red towers, okay. Mania. Ready to go. The red towers, let me see. Lightning. Lighting and lightning towers, just in case. You don't want lightning to strike the rocket, even though Soyuz doesn't really care. These are lightning rods. Soyuz can get struck by lightning. It's happened before. It doesn't care. It's fine. Yeah.
Discovery,
Pretty cool.
go at throttle up.
Test the rules. 20-month resub. Thank you. All right, let's go to the next video here, coming from our Russian comrades. Soyuz is like, oh, nice. Yes. Zvezdani? Stars? Stars. Something about stars. What? I always forget what this is over here. Starry. Oh, nice. Zvezdini. Oh. Звездный. Звездный. I'm getting there. Very good. Thank you. Cetra. So I know what this says. Yuri Gagarin. Kosmetanov. Alright, let's see. Ah, there he is! There's the guy. That's Alexander Misurtkin. Yusaku Mizawa, and then Yusaku Mizawa 2. Energia. So this is the... Okay, the Sergei Korolev Raketo Kosmeni... The Energia Integration Building? I think? Yozo Hirano, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Cosmonaut Building. So they're probably going to do some fit checks here, I suppose. Yeah, see, Alexander Misurtkin, Yusaku Mizawa. Yozo Hirono is his name. Yeah, these three are going to launch into space tonight. Yeah, see, they're in quarantine here. Here they are in the clean room. They're going to take a picture of the spacecraft we just saw roll out. There they are with their spacecraft behind them. Cool, dude. Yeah, you don't want hair and stuff and dust floating around. That's why they have the funny hats on. Thank you. Where is Mullet Man? We need the Russian mullet integration engineer. He needs to be here. That's very important. GoPro. So, for Soyuz, when they get inside of the spacecraft, they go through the fairing, right? You can see it inside of the fairing right there. They go through the fairing and they go into the orbital module. The orbital module is the one that has the hatch, all right? So the capsule only has the hatch that goes to the orbital module. There's no hatch on this thing. This is it. The orbital module has the ingress and egress for launch. When they land back down, they use this hatch up at the top. But the orbital module here has the ingress hatch, and then it has the docking port that's the one that goes to the space station. Now, keep in mind, these two capsules over here are Progress capsules. These are resupply ships for the ISS. This one over here is a Soyuz capsule. Now, what's the difference between Soyuz and Progress? Progress is the uncrewed resupply version. There's no seats in this thing. There's also no heat shield, so it's a one-way trip up. And they put their trash on the Progress modules, and they burn up in the atmosphere. Don't worry, that's fine for the atmosphere. It's not a problem. Everything gets vaporized, so it's actually... normally, I wouldn't condone burning trash, but that's all right. Artemis 3 engine. I have a bunch of SLS news, so yeah, I'll rope that in with SLS news, Thomas. Now, keep in mind, this footage was before the footage that we just saw of them rolling out the rocket. I probably should have showed this footage first, but... signing the guest book. Where's the peace sign? Oh, I gave him a thumbs down. Yusaka, what the heck? I posted them in upload order, and I couldn't click on them in upload order because chat was going too quick, so they're out of order, Vasya. I know you put them in order. I freaking couldn't get it in order. I was trying to click on all the dang links, but people were saying stuff. So they got a picture of Vostok 1 on the wall over there, and then a picture of the ISS over here. Keep in mind, they keep them all quarantined. These barriers here are not just because of COVID. It's always been that way. You don't want to catch a cold when you're in space. Bad idea. That happened to NASA once. It didn't end well. Can you imagine having a head cold in space? That would suck. That would suck a lot. I don't want that. Yeah, no. So yeah, don't worry. Like, not worried. If anybody's interested, they've been quarantining astronauts and cosmonauts for decades because yeah, ain't nobody want to get a head cold in space. He said, Alexander said specifically, he said thank you for your time, and got the backup crew over there. No, they're not an interpreter. I forget this gentleman's name on the right. He's another cosmonaut. I think, let me see if I can see his name. Yeah, it's hard to see. Here, let me take a look. It was Apollo 7, yes. I can't see his name. I think that I forget his name. That's Skvortsov. Yeah. Okay, Orion. Alexander Skvortsov, and I don't know this gentleman's name over here. I'm not sure. I love how Yusaku doesn't have a backup. It's just a backup for Hirono-sama. Actually, that was Oleg Kononenko over there on the left. Oleg Kononenko, another cosmonaut. He's been up in space a couple of times, and by a couple, I mean a lot. Have you kept up on ground station developments for Starlink? No. Shono Giso is the backup for Yozo Hirono. Cool. This meeting was at 12:05. Just thought I'd let you know. Alright, got one more video here. What do we got?
Мечты о звездах сбываются с отечественной космонавтикой. Эта космическая история началась в 20-м столетии, и в нашем веке у нее глобальные перспективы. Непрофессиональные космонавты, космические туристы, земляне из разных стран, летящие к своей мечте на орбиту, на российских космических кораблях.
Cool.
Космические скорости, космический комфорт, космическая надежность. 1990 декабрь с космодрома Байконур.
Dude, I've met that guy. I met that guy at the California Science Center. That guy right there. It's a short video about space tourism. Vasya, have you ever heard that story? I met this dude. And it was the strangest experience I've ever had. Yeah, it was strange. So, I think I did, but not sure. Let me tell you. This was TwitchCon 2017, all right? And I took a day from... I didn't go to TwitchCon, because TwitchCon 2017 was in Long Beach, okay? Yeah. Yes. Yes, Omni. I've met him. I met him. It was... Dude, it was the weirdest experience ever. And I'll tell you why. So, once again, TwitchCon 2017. Me, Das, and a couple of other people from TwitchCon. There was a gentleman that streams by the name of Slowburn there. Slowburn's a cool dude. He still streams, if I'm remembering right. And he spent some time in Japan so he could speak Japanese. And that's a really important thing to understand here. We all went to California Science Center. It was like, I don't know, 15 or 20 of us, right? And... We went and saw Endeavor, right? And I was sitting there just, people are asking me questions. So I started answering questions. And Tohiro, this guy, I didn't know who he was. He came up to me and he started asking me questions too. I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't know this guy, but it's fine. He started asking me questions. And I knew, I could tell by what he was asking that he knew something about the space program. But I can tell that the questions he was asking, he hasn't been following it for some time, okay? He was asking like, hey, does the shuttle still fly? Does Soyuz still fly? I'm like, yeah, the Soyuz still flies. The shuttles, they retired in 2011, and he was asking questions about the shuttle. And once again, I could tell that the guy knew something about space, but I didn't know who he was. He didn't say anything to me, right? And so... Like, he was like, hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then it was very strange. For some reason, I mean, the guy was super respectful. And I know, I've been to Japan before. And it doesn't make me an expert on Japanese culture or anything. But I know that Japan's a very respectful culture. So, he was talking to me. He thanked me for his time. And I said, hey, thank you for your time. Like, I don't know why I thanked the guy. Like, it was very weird. And I said, hey, thanks for talking to me. I love talking about space, so I'll tell you what you need to know. So I did thank him for his time, which was strange. Like, I thought about that, like, right after. I'm like, why did you say thank you, you socially awkward weirdo? But I just felt compelled to do it, right? So Slowburn, he went and started talking to Slowburn about stuff. Because Slowburn heard him speaking Japanese, right? And, he goes, basically Slowburn was telling me, he goes, there was a TV screen with a picture of the ISS and there was a Soyuz attached to it, and he was telling Slowburn, he goes, yeah, I flew on that. And Slowburn's like, wait, what? What do you mean you flew on that? What, did you work on it or something? Keep in mind, this was in Japanese, so I didn't understand what they were saying, right? And he goes, no, I flew on Soyuz. I flew on Soyuz. And he's like, what's your name? And he said, oh, my name is this. And Slowburn was like, I don't know how to write that. Can you write that into my phone? So he pulled up his Wikipedia page. That guy that we talked to, right? And Slowburn was looking at it and he was reading it and he's like, holy crap. Oh my goodness. EJ, come here. And I'm like, what? What's up? And he goes, were you just talking to that Japanese guy? And I'm like, yeah. And he looks at me, he goes, you know he was the first Japanese person in space, right? And I'm like, what? Yeah, Kane, pretty much. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, I just talked to him. That guy was the first Japanese guy in space. And he showed me the Wikipedia page and it had that picture on it. And I'm like, that's him. Holy crap. And keep in mind, this whole sequence of events happened in maybe the span of 5 minutes. And he's like, dude, we got to talk to this guy. And we looked around, gone. Couldn't find him. He just disappeared. It was some samurai stuff. I'm like, what the hell just happened? That was very, very surreal. Dude, be honest, I'm telling you, I remember things. I don't forget a face. I can recall stuff pretty well. It was definitely him. He didn't go to the ISS, Kamer. Yeah, he launched in 1990 on Soyuz. He was the first Japanese person in space. Tokyo Broadcasting Company paid for him to be. They paid for a tourist flight for him, and this video will talk about it. Dude, he was like, we tried to find him after to talk to him more. Guy vanished. It was the strangest thing. And I was like, guys, we got to look for this guy. Look around if you can see if you can find this guy. Nobody could find him. He just vanished. It was the strangest thing. Dude, samurai and your ninja messed up? Yeah, whatever. Dude, it was. I swear, you can ask Slowburn about this. You can ask Das about this. This happened. It was very weird. Yeah, unbeknownst to me at the time, I've met the first Japanese guy in space, which is pretty damn cool. What's the lead into this story? This is an article about tourism on Soyuz, and the first tourist flight for Soyuz was his flight. I've met that guy, Tars. I've met that. It's very weird. Yeah, that was dude. I'm telling you, I gotta go talk to Slowburn, and I gotta get him to come tell this story with us, because he spent some time in Japan, so he spoke Japanese, and because he spoke Japanese, that's when he told him, because I don't think he knew how to say it in English. Where'd you meet him? In front of the Space Shuttle Endeavour, Tars. Yeah, Nikita, I know. Yeah, very strange. Yeah, it was very, very, very peculiar. It was a very surreal experience.
Стартует корабль Союз ТМ.
What is his Japanese name? T-O-E with the dots. X is H. Tohiro. Akiyama. Yep. Dude, I'm telling you, met that dude. It was very weird.
11 вместе с командиром Виктором Афанасьевым и бортинженером Муссой Манаровым в качестве космонавта-исследователя в космос отправляется журналист из Японии Тоихиро Акияма. Почти 8 суток работ с прямые репортажи, телеуроки, эксперименты с японскими древесными лягушками.
Very strange.
1991 май. На корабле «Союз ТМ-12» вместе с космонавтом Анатолием Арцебарским и Сергеем Крикалевым полетела к звездам 28-летняя британка Хелен Шарман, работавшая химиком-технологом кондитерской компании. 2001. Начало эры настоящего большого космического туризма. Деннис Тита платит по контракту Space Adventures $20 миллионов и летит на МКС
So these
на
are all the
корабле «Союз
tourists that have flown
ТМ-32»
on
вместе с космонавтами Талгатом Мусабаевым и
on
Юрием
Soyuz.
Батуриным. 60-летний миллионер был счастлив. Я парил как
Richard Garriott?
ангел, глядя вниз на
Richard
землю.
Garriott should be the next one.
2002. На корабле «Союз ТМ-34»
Oh,
вместе
no.
с профессиональными космонавтами Юрием Гидзенко и итальянцем Роберто Виттори на МКС отправляется 28-летний бизнесмен из ЮАР Марк Шаттлворд, заплативший за 8-дневное космическое
Марк.
путешествие почти $20 миллионов.
Yeah, be honest.
2005. На корабле «Союз ТМА-7» вместе с космонавтом Валерием Токаревым и астронавтом Уильямом
Oh, yeah,
МакАртуром
Greg
на орбиту
Olson.
полетел 60-летний инженер и предприниматель из США Грегори Олсон. Почти 10 суток в космосе. 2006. Международную космическую станцию посетила турист-женщина, американка иранского происхождения Ануше
there's
Ансари.
Ansari.
В экипаже корабля «Союз ТМА-9» компанию «Красавица» составили российский космонавт Михаил Тюрин и астронавт НАСА Майкл Лопес Алегрия. 8 дней на МКС, и Ануше стала первым блогером в истории космонавтики.
I haven't yet.
2007. С российскими космонавтами Федором Юрчихиным и Олегом Котовым на корабле «Союз ТМА-10» на МКС отправляется американский предприниматель Чарльз Симони. Этот же человек на корабле «Союз ТМА-14» вместе с российским космонавтом Геннадием Падалкой и астронавтом НАСА
Gennady
Майклом
Padalka.
Барреттом
I shook that dude's hand too.
снова летит в
Straight up,
звездам
met him
уже
at
в
Space Fest.
2009-м. Суммарная продолжительность полетов Чарльза Симони почти 27 земных суток. В 2008 в космосе побывал американский
Yeah, my guy.
тигр Ричард Гарриот. На
True
МКС
gamer
он
right
стартовал
there.
в октябре 2008 года на корабле
That's Richard Garriott. Richard Garriott, if you're from the gaming side of Twitch, Ultima, the Ultima series, Ultima Online, yeah, he's the guy that invented that. His dad was Owen Garriott, who was an Apollo astronaut, and he wanted to he wanted to do space things too, so he used the money that he made from Ultima to fly into space. That guy is cool. He gave us a shout out. He gave Das and I a shout out. We've interviewed him on stream before, which is really awesome. He's a really, really cool dude. Top tier nerd.
корабле «Союз ТМА-13» вместе с российским космонавтом
Oh, I
Юрием
wish, friend.
Лончаковым и
That game was
астронавтом
supposed to be
НАСА
amazing.
Майклом
Yep, Lord
Финком.
British, indeed.
В сентябре 2009 года на корабле «Союз ТМА-16» вместе с космонавтом Максимом Сураевым и астронавтом Джеффри Уильямсом на орбиту на 11 суток полетел основатель Cirque du Soleil Ги Лалиберте. 2021. Впервые в истории
did, Buck.
вдвоем
He got
в своей
burned on that
звездной
one.
мечте летят Юсаку Маэзава и Йозо Хирана, первые космические туристы из Японии. Впечатлениями о полете они хотят поделиться со всем миром. Командир уникального космического экипажа, космонавт Роскосмоса Александр Мисуркин. Маршрут Земля-МКС самый интересный и перспективный
Cool.
для тех, кто мечтает о звездах.
I've met a lot of people that have gone into space. Man, that one kind of put it into perspective, dude. That's a little strange. Huh. I know a lot of those people. That's bizarre. Anyway, awesome video about Soyuz tourist flights. That was really cool. Yeah, freaking Gennady Padalka. I talked to him at Space Fest, and I said Soyuz is a great launch vehicle, and he said, "Yeah, it's old." And I'm like, "What do you mean it's old?" He's like, "Man, it's old. It's okay. It's just old." I'm like, "What? What? Why? Что? Нет. No." How many in total? Oh, I don't know. I don't keep track of that stuff, Monty. I don't keep track of who I've met and who I haven't met. Nor do I won't ever ask an astronaut or a cosmonaut for an autograph. I want to talk to them. I don't care about their signature. Who said that? Gennady Padalka. He's a cosmonaut that he's like the third or fourth person that's been to space the most. I believe the person that's been up in space the most amount of time is Oleg Kononenko. I think. Yeah, that part I remembered, Owens. I would rather do that when I talk to astronauts than get a signature. I don't like getting signatures. That doesn't mean anything to me. That's just a piece of paper with some writing on it. I'd rather talk. The experience is what I want. I want to talk to astronauts about space, and you know what? They dig it. They love it. I love talking to astronauts about spaceflight. I don't want an autograph. I don't want any of that. I want to talk to you. You know what I mean? I have very strict rules about this. I don't like, guys, honestly, if you look around my house, you're not going to see that much spaceflight stuff. I mean, it's there, but if you go into my living room, maybe a plush Kerbal that's sitting on my mantle and a couple of like pictures of Saturn V and stuff, but you wouldn't know I'm that big of a space nut from it. But once again, I'd rather have it that way. So they're tired of going on the rocket. No, it's just Kiosk. Russian culture is very candid, very, very candid. It's very straightforward. No bullcrap. That's why I like it. It's very straightforward stuff. There's no. It's just they'll tell you like it is. They'll tell you how it is, and that's pretty much it. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's exceptions to that rule, etc., etc. But yeah, aces. But I don't need stuff to tell people I'm a space fan. I'm just a space fan. Yeah, and the IPA craft cans. Yeah, that might give it away. Have you seen the new McLaren one-off livery? Oh, that's neat. Bring back the day glow. Dang it. Red and white. Anyway, let's keep going with the space news. That was an awesome thing. So earlier this morning we had the SDP-3 launch from ULA on the Atlas 551, the Bruiser. It was a great launch, and ULA has reported mission success on that, which is really good. Gulf oil livery is the best. I don't think McLaren ever had that, though, Owens, did they? 147 successful launches for ULA. No problems, ever. Monaco this year. What? That's not. No. This livery right here. This one. That's the livery.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Race cargo vroom. Yeah. Either that or the Ferrari 641. Hang on. The 641 is probably one of the prettiest Formula One cars ever. Like, ever. It's such a nice looking car. Look at this thing. I love the red, black, and yellow on the Ferrari. That looks really nice. Really nice. Ooh. The Elf 6 wheel, the Tyrrell P34 or T34 or something. Oh yeah. That's nice. Very nice. And this is very much opinion-based, but really quick expose into Formula One car liveries. The best Formula One car livery ever devised is the John Player Special. Cars don't look better than that, man. Black and gold, baby. With your boy. With your boy driving it. 98T. That car had 1,400 horsepower in qualifying configuration. 1,400 horsepower. Oh. It doesn't get better than that. That is the prettiest Formula One car. Right there. Send it. Yep. Yep. What are your thoughts about the last race? It was awesome failures until the FIA ruined it. Yep. It was awesome until they ruined it. Yep. The Brabham BT46. Yep. Forge, of course. There is another Formula One car that I do like. The Lotus 49. The Lotus 49 is beautiful. In BRG. The old Coventry Climax engine sounded amazing. Sure. I like the fan car. The Brabham BT46s. Synerd, yep. Lotus 49 is your favorite. You can't beat the the 49 is definitely up there on one of the prettiest Formula One cars. Yeah, it's up there with the John Player Special 98T to me. Predominant easily. This sucker right here, that guy. Ooh. Ooh, that's a nice car, man. That's really cool. Oh. Frickin' bias plies. Bias ply tires. Frick you. That's insane. Yeah, all mechanical, Tessa. She's a beast. It's basically a go-kart with a V8 in it. Yeah. Oh, that one's good. All right, cool. Enough F1 for now. The Tyrrell P34. Oh my gosh, there it is. Nice. Sebi, this is really cool. Have you, Synerd, you've seen the Tyrrell P34? That's here. It's in Sebi's pictures. Look. That was a Formula One car that competed, the Tyrrell. Very strange. Very strange. How about the fan car? Well, the fan car, yeah, that's the BT46, guys. The Brabham BT46, that's the fan car. They literally put a turbine in the back to suck the air out from the bottom of the car to get it to glue itself to the track. Yep. Banned after one race. Yep. Banned after one race. Yeah, it was for cooling. Yeah. Oh, boy. Oh, that's funny. Is there a rule to how many wheels an F1 car can have? Nowadays, Swishio, yeah. Nowadays, yeah. All right, here, more news. So, L-1 day until a Data with Destiny mission for Black Sky and Spaceflight Incorporated. This mission will deploy the 10th and 11th satellites for Black Sky's low Earth orbit observation constellation. The launch window opens up at 23:45 on December 8th. So that's tomorrow. This launch was supposed to be yesterday, but they moved it 2 days out. Last thing. Yep. That's cool. All right. So we had a mission success on the STP mission. Rocket Lab's getting ready to go. I'm rooting for you. All right, check this out. We got a video coming from Blue Origin on the NS-19 flight, which is scheduled for the 9th, I believe, in the morning. We'll be here for that.
I've always loved space.
Check this out.
Daddy used to take us out at night to look at the stars. We'd lay down in the cool grass and look up. I'm Laura Shepard Churchley. I'm the daughter of astronaut Alan Shepard.
First American in space.
One day, he said, Laura, come out with me to the end of the driveway. I want you to help me find something in the sky. And sure enough, we saw it. I saw it first. It was Russian.
Sputnik.
They had a vehicle in space. And then Daddy announced to me, I'm going to be working for NASA. I'm going to be an astronaut. Astronaut? Astronaut's not even in my dictionary, Daddy. What is an astronaut? NASA's going to put me into a spacecraft on top of a rocket. The rocket is going to blast me up into space, and I will come back to Earth safely. And I said, okay, have a good trip, Daddy.
Have a good trip.
I'm really interested in all the things that space travel has brought to the world. And so I'm really excited to be going on a Blue Origin flight. And I'm very proud of my father's legacy. He was the first American in space and the 5th man on the moon. And he so far has been the only man to play golf on the moon. I believe he would say the same thing as my children. Go for it, Laura. I just want to see space closer up. Daddy only had a little portal. He didn't have the windows that we're going to have. I can't wait for the parachutes to open, to have that rush and then just stop and then settle down. I just can't wait for that. Every night I go out, look at the moon, say hi to Daddy. It's kind of fun for me to say that an original Shepard will fly on the new Shepard.
That's pretty cool. Blue is, Blue gets a lot of flack, but dude, doing stuff like this is good. This is good for space because it's very high profile stuff. This is help getting the word of space out there, man. And that's, dude, I'm cool with this. That's fine. It's amazing. I don't know what that means, Forge, but alright. Not saying it was aliens. Oh. I don't want to talk about that, Lumprod. How about they get their engines working? They are. Let's light this candle. We put Alan Shepard's fan. Yeah. On the gantry to New Shepard. There you go. That's awesome. Really cool. I'm happy that Blue's coming into their own. That makes me pretty psyched up. Also, a patch for the mission. Strahan gonna fly on this sucker. Nah, he's a giant, but it's all right. I'll let that one slide. The circle in between the NS and 19 says GDV for Glenn DeVry. Yeah, that sucks. We still don't know what happened with that, Thomas. It's very strange, but hey, it is what it is. All right, so check this out, guys. Flipping up the news a little bit, we got We got more flight hardware for Artemis here. This is the launch vehicle staging adapter for the LVSA, part of SLS. This is the part where the core stage attaches and then where the ICPS is on top. This one, I believe, is for Artemis 3. Which is pretty rad. This is after they've applied, or Artemis 2? Yeah, okay. This is 2. All right, so this one will be the first crewed mission for SLS then, not 3. 3 will be crewed, but that's a different thing. So this is the LVSA for A2. So we got more hardware for SLS missions, which is pretty awesome. It looks like drywall. It's aluminum lithium friction stir weld with a thermal insulator on it called SOFI, spray on foam insulation, SOFI. This is just after the spray on foam was installed. Yeah, you can see where they shaved the SOFI down. Yep, you got to sand it. Yep, yeah, right there. This is fresh. The spray-on foam insulation, when they put it on, is like this, like, watered-out orange color. It's only after it's been sitting in the sun for a little while does it get that distinct orange tint to it, which is really cool. Good stuff. Yeah, you can see, yeah, they shaved some of it down. Yeah. Artemis 4 has the EUS right now, Roblox. All right. Pretty awesome. And also, here we go. Is that the A2 Orion? And the A2 service module right there? Is that what I'm looking at? Which ones are these, Novus? I don't know. It's kind of like that, Poison, but it's not the same. Kind of like that, though. That's the A3 service module, I believe. Artemis 3 Orion and Artemis 2 Orion A3 service module. Either way, more flight hardware for SLS. Novus, we just need that core. We need that core stage buy. They basically did a block buy of all the SRBs for Artemis missions through Artemis 12, guys, the other day, which pretty much killed any doubt in my mind that SLS is going to happen. That's pretty awesome. We just need that EUS, man. We need that exploration upper stage. Is there any plans on refurbishing Orion components? Of course. Artemis 1 components, the Orion Artemis 1 components username are going to fly on Artemis 2. Yeah, funny story. Yes, absolutely. Orion is reusable. It's a reusable capsule. I'm not sure the extent of the reusability, but it is reusable. You can now buy an 825 horsepower LMP2 motor from Ligier. Oh, that's neat. Cool. Nice car. Maybe that switch. I think Thomas had it right. Yeah, so we got the Artemis 2 service module and Artemis 3 Orion in this picture. But hey, that's still more flight hardware, man. This is good. Good stuff. It's coming together, man. It really is. I was worried with that rebaselining stuff that they were talking about. I was a little freaked out from that, but it seems like everything's still running the course, which is fine. We just need that block buy, man. And then what do we got here? Engine 2048 is slated to fly on the Artemis 3 mission. Main engine 2048 last flew with Shuttle Discovery during STS-133. Oh. Oh, there he is, man. I'm pretty sure. Oh, that's Bill and Pam. I'm pretty sure that the proof is in the pudding with these rocket engines. I tell you, what I'm trying to tell you is that we should dip them in a big bowl of vanilla pudding. How heavy is an SSME again? Yeah, it's pretty heavy, Synerd. Pretty heavy engine. But a lot of the modernization that they're doing to these motors is making them a lot lighter. It's increasing their TWR because of the lack of reusability. The Orion in the previous picture is the Artemis 3, since the Artemis 2 is Artemis 3 since the Artemis 2 capsule is behind Vic. Yeah, okay, so that was the A3 Orion A2 service module. Good. Use it as a giant bowl for pudding. I want to eat pudding out of this, I tell you what. See last for some TPS details that are in the weeds. Okay. Okay, Chris, I got that. Or maybe they switched. I think. Where's? I'm looking. All of the SRB segments are already flown, right? I'm pretty sure, Owens, yeah. And Novus, I'm not seeing your last. Oh, there it is. Okay. You can also see how the spray-on foam insulation is applied. They spray it on in areas kind of like a pizza slice. Those shaved vertical pieces are where the previous spray stopped, and the next shift did the next one. Oh, okay. Cool. Awesome. Well, I tell you, we got to go ahead and oh. No. No. Should be standing in front of that. Damn it. That's just a shame. That's just a shame that the RS-68 is the end of that. The end of the lineage there. That really pisses me off. Well, not really pisses, but you get the idea. Ah! Stop it! Stop that. Stop that. You stop this nonsense. RS-68s are, they're basically an expendable version of a shuttle engine, but the difference is that the RS-68 was made to not be human rated, which really sucks. Seeing politicians near space hardware always reminds you of this. What's this picture? Yeah. Yeah. Guy had good policy from the NSC meetings, but yeah, not, I mean, then again, he's the vice president, he can do what he wants, I guess. I don't know, like, not saying that that's the smartest thing to do, but... Mac, so next semester or the semester after I finish the Pathways program at NASA, my boss in QA wants me to come under contract. We all know how that might turn out, but because of NASA's budget, I might not get a contract. If I don't, I'm going to apply at Johnson Space Center or directly to SpaceX. But family live in Mass. I've not lived there for almost 10 years. If I go back to Mass, what am I going to do work for? There's no spaceships in Mass. Thoughts? G. Lynn makes jet engines. There's always the Draper Lab, Mac. Draper Lab. Bro, there is a huge industrial base in Massachusetts. You wouldn't know, but it's here. Oh, yeah. Huge industrial base for firearms, believe it or not. Man, that's going to go away soon, but that's another story. There's G. Lynn. There's Groton, Connecticut. Submarines. Want to make parts for subs? G Electric Boat. There's Bath Iron Works in Maine. If you want to make ships, want to make destroyers. There's plenty of stuff. We welcome Smith and Wesson to the South. What a mistake they're making. Novus says, check with your manager at positions at other NASA centers, Mac, if you're not opposed to moving to a different city. Yeah, guys, yeah, Mass actually is a pretty hard defense industry, dude. It's just not for the stuff that you might think. There's Raytheon. Raytheon is here. GE has their world headquarters here. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, dude. A lot of stuff. Boston Dynamics, yeah, of course. If you want that, sure. That's cool, life. Very neat. Tybot, I didn't know that. That's really neat. Smith & Wesson is literally moving an hour and a half for me. Smith & Wesson or Mass? Well, Dead Crew, they're... Look, how people view firearms aside, I think it's hilarious that, you know, Smith & Wesson is moving a lot of their gun production out of Massachusetts because of the crazy regulations, right? Which is funny to me because I can't really think of any particular scenario where driving industry out away from where you govern is a good idea. If you do that in cities, you go into recession. Interesting. You remember the time where I deleted all the industry in Westwood and my city went bankrupt? You remember that? Yeah, remember that? Yeah. That's good. Yeah, Miff, I know. And Smith & Wesson is moving a good chunk of their manufacturing out of Massachusetts in 2023 because of that. They're moving to Tennessee. Good job, guys. Keep up the bad work. And once again, this isn't about guns or anything. Like, it's about manufacturing. Manufacturing is good jobs. That's good jobs for people. And yeah, you just drive it away. That's fine. That's fine. What's the worst that could happen?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Sure, but you don't want to be held captive by whatever the company wants. Labor is probably cheaper in Tennessee. Arsenal, like, Western Mass doesn't have much, man. There used to be a much bigger industrial base out in the western part of the state, and that's mostly gone. Those people don't got much out there, dude. What mouse you got? Death Adder. People don't have much out there. Shipyards in Western Mass. Yeah, no. Anyway, let's keep going. NASA supercomputers predict how vibrations vary with altitude for Orion abort scenarios. Yeah, we saw this footage, actually. Novus, we saw this the other day. Supercomputers doing pressure simulations on Orion's launch escape system, which is really cool. Yeah, here. Look at this. Oh, that's so legit. And it's totally screwing up the encoder, I can tell. Forbidden cotton candy. Look at the pressure change off the back of the capsule. That's nuts, dude. Super high pressure, low pressure, high pressure again because it's hitting the outside walls of the capsule and then goes back to low pressure. You tried to share this a week ago. I know. You didn't try. You did, and I shared it, and you were here for it. What's that comment for? Fluid dynamics. Yeah, pretty awesome. It's probably not something you should go around saying, Lord Crazy. So that booster top piece was put on the Booster 6 Common Dome, making a small hopper or something. That's very weird, Thomas. Yeah, this 777 landing gear dish. I mean, that CFD is really freaking cool, man. It's really good stuff. All right, let's check out what's going on with our buddies over at NASA Spaceflight here. let's start here. That's right, Exel, right? Yep, I've shown that simulation many times to show how vortices happen, or vortexes. All the time. I miss anything cool this morning? Just the STP-3 launch. But then again, that was last night for you, Chaos. Atlas never disappoints. Ever. So once again, this footage is coming from our buddies over at NASA Spaceflight here. This is the Starship Update, Daily Starship Update. We have 2 videos to watch here. NASA Spaceflight gives us basically daily updates here as to what SpaceX is doing down at their Boca Chica website. Nice. Launch site. Damn it, brain. So make sure you go over there and support them if you can. At least give them a sub on their channel, please. They just crossed, what was it, 1 million, I think. Jeez, Thomas, that's so stupid. Yeah, it was 500,000. Yeah, there you go.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
We're getting a Taurus starbase on the 15th. Oh, well, that's neat. Can I come? Yeah, Far Night. Certainly grown into something, into a new beast, huh? You're working on the orbital launch pad. Man, that is eye candy, dude. I say this every time we see it, but man. Oh, that's very... Dude, once they remove all the scaffolding, this is going to be very nice to look at. So once again, I don't know what we're looking at. I'm not even going to try to guess. I know that these are fuel lines, and that's about it. Liquid oxygen, liquid methane, nitrogen, and maybe a helium line or something in there. I don't know what this does. I have no freaking clue. I know that those are valves right there. They could be, actually, they could be pressure regulators. I have no idea. They installed the cover on it today. Oh, awesome. But yeah. I don't know what this thing does either. I guessed in the past that this was pneumatics, but who knows? Yeah, got a little bit of residual tank venting right there. Still working on the chopsticks. They're installing a bunch of stuff on the chopsticks. See all this plumbing right here, whatever that might be. It could be pneumatic, could be hydraulic, don't know. Not sure if you saw this. Yeah, I covered that. Yeah, actually that was a little bit out of order with the other NASA or SLS news, but yeah, the subscale demonstrator. Pretty awesome. Jazzos, what are you saying? People are gonna miss out on so many details. You can always watch it here if you want. I have permission from them, but I make sure with other people's spaceflight content that I get explicit permission. And if they say no, they say no. Tough crap. It's why should you know, like, why shouldn't they? It's their it's their property. It's their IP. NASA Spaceflight is nice enough to let me watch this stuff over here, which is very, 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 very cool. Did we get any updates on the reason for the failed SN-20 static fire? No. That's amazing. 500 feet, Tron. She's a beast. They put all that scaffolding up above the quick disconnect. I'm not 100% sure why that's all there, but it's there for a reason, and I'm not sure what. Like I said, I don't know what it is. Hey, Jairus, what's going on? Want to see the chopsticks moving up and down? Wait a couple weeks. Buck, think about it like this. They have to get quick disconnect articulation, and they have to get the quick disconnect arm working and fully automated. They're going to do that before they move the chopsticks up. Why? Well, it needs to move out of the way if you want to move the chopsticks up, right? There you go. So, once again, just some deductive reasoning shows that the chopsticks aren't going to move until that thing does. I think they're fine-tuning the rail segments, making sure they all line up. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that makes sense. I still want to see them move. Yeah, me too, man. We gotta wait for that thing, though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. One step at a time, indeed. I still want... Hey, wait a minute. I was just about to say, I still want to see how they're going to get the quick disconnect arm to move back and forth, but there's an actuator right there. There's an actuator with a Heim joint on the end. See it? Well, there's your quick disconnect. Right there. I hadn't noticed that before. That's going to be able to make the umbilical retract and be able to redock. How quickly will that move? Not very fast, lit rub. This isn't like the Saturn V where the umbilicals go and then they fold out of the way, you know? My guess is because this has the vehicle stabilization system, right? And this whole kind of C-shaped piece that's up at the front like this, that can retract. My guess is that this thing is going to move out of the way in the similar way that SpaceX's Strongback or crew access arm would retract. Think about that. Think about it, bro. No. How is this going to jive with Starship launching? Is it going to just and then fall away real quick? No. It's probably going to retract like a Strongback if I had to guess. So if it's going to do that, this thing is probably going to go very slowly. Why is EJ on a KSP sabbatical? I don't feel like playing it, Sinard. Straight up. It's stressing me out a little bit, and I can't play KSP when I don't get a lot of sleep, and not getting a lot of sleep is stressing me out, so then I get into a self-defeating cycle of you got to play KSP because people want to see KSP, and yeah, and that makes failures happen a lot. You got to be in a good, clear mind to play mission mode, and I believe that I was half-assing content for KSP, and I don't want to do that. So I'm taking a little bit of a break from KSP just for a little while. I'm going to go back to it. Let's be real. I want to play it. I just don't. I just want to make sure that all this stress is kind of out of my system. So that's why I've been playing other games lately. Yeah, don't get up my tail. It's my first declared break from KSP in a decade. We'll go back. Don't worry. Yeah, Jazos, I always kept playing. Look, it's just, I tried to stretch myself too thin, and that's it. Just give me some time to recover, and then we'll get back to what we were doing. So everything on KSP is just paused right now. Like I said, it's not going anywhere. Yeah, I got you, Sinard. Well, I figured anytime it comes up in the chat, it's not like, oh, well, you need to do this, you need to respect. I don't care. If people probably aren't going to watch as much because I'm not playing KSP, that's fine. That's totally okay. I get it. It's very, very rare that I get to a point where I'm like, I need to fix things, you know? I usually come in here with a game face, and I come here to try and get stuff done. But, guys, I never stopped doing the damn quarantine streams. And that, coupled with the holidays, coupled with, Just all the stuff's going on. The trucks, I need to fix the trucks. I need to get the trucks ready. It just kind of got to be a little too much for me. So I took a step back, and because I have the luxury to be able to do that, and just playing Satisfactory, we'll play other games, play Hearts of Iron, Summer Cars, stuff like that. Throw some cities in the mix too. Yeah, I know they've already moved it, Thomas, but have they moved it when it's in its final configuration? Because that's pretty much what was implied with what I said. Stop stressing about that. Unfortunately, it's very hard to control. Pilots, it's very hard to control what I do and don't get stressed about. But usually I have a pretty good tolerance for it. But yeah, pushed myself a little too much. It's happened. It's happened before. This happened all the way back in 2016 when I first started trying to do After Hours. It's just, if you stretch yourself too thin, you just gotta regroup. It's just like lines in Hearts of Iron. You stretch yourself too thin, the line's gonna break. And then you fall back and you regroup. I'm falling back and regrouping. That's all. We'll get, dude, trust me. 2022, KSP2 might come out in 2022. In fact, I'm pretty dang sure it is. So it's going to be a lot of people that are hankering for Kerbal content. And trust me, it's only a matter of time before I'm going to go chomping at the bit for KSP stuff again. So don't worry about it. Edmana is a guy that watches the stream crazy. That's kind of the jerk off in your group of friends. That he's a jerk, but he's still in your group of friends. But he's like it's like a bad person, but he's your bad person. You know what I mean? Isn't that Yarg? Edmana is a different. No, Yarg is not a jerk. He's just wrong all the time, and he gets blamed. Edmana is just a jerk. He's a jerk, but he's like a crappy friend, but he's our crappy friend, you know what I mean? Professionally, Jim, yeah, 6 years. I've been playing KSP non-stop for a decade. The only breaks I've ever taken from KSP are to go to TwitchCon or go on vacation or something. And the only time in recent memory that I took a very long break from KSP was when we played Flight Simulator at this time last year. I didn't play KSP for like a month. But look at the awesome mission mode content you got from me taking a break. Trust me. Yeah, yeah. Give me some time, dudes. I'll be back, and in greater numbers. I like Hearts of Iron 4, but it does stress me out a little bit, Gujar. I've been kind of avoiding it, but I do want to get better at it, too. Am I that guy that's right, but you wish they weren't just so you could tell them that they're wrong? I kind of see myself projecting. Seinhard, you like contributing to the discussion points that aren't really relevant to the conversation. I come up with analogies, and you pick out the analogies, and you say, well, that analogy isn't right. Despite it's an analogy. Analogous, it's close. It's a close approximation. Not gonna lie, that gets annoying at times, but I'd rather you be here than not. I don't care about people correcting me, dude, but Seinard, what bothers me is when people correct me just for the sake of correcting things. That's very annoying, and it's very hard to keep the message that I'm trying to conveying forward when you have people in the chat, saying like I'll be making a point about SLS, and somebody will do whataboutism with it in the form trying to mask it as a correction, and it's very annoying. It's almost like it seems like at times that people want to try to steal the thunder of the stream and make the stream about them. You see that happen in chat a lot more, and I'm not saying you do that.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
But it does happen, and frankly, it's very annoying, and it's very hard to keep going. That kind of stuff, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. That stuff stresses me the hell out. Yeah. Yeah, the gas conversation this morning, Dead Crew. It's like people play this game to try and make the stream about them to make them look good and be like, oh, well, the streamer was incorrect about that. Yeah, great. Thank you. You try sitting here for 10 hours and coming up with information and analogies off the top of your head. and get constantly corrected by people who think they're contributing. It's very annoying, and it really pisses me off sometimes. But well, actually, EJ, yeah, that's why I exist. I just don't really pay no mind to it. It does stress me out from time to time. But yeah, Kmere fame comes at a price. That's part of it, dude. That's part of the stream growing and getting better, dude. You're gonna have people like that. I just don't like people who try to goad me into the gotcha conversations. That pisses me off. You're not contributing to the stream. You're bogging the stream down with useless semantics. And that waters down the message, and that's annoying. Yeah. But, once again, I'm not going to sit here. Like, I'm only telling you because you ask. I wouldn't bring it up. Unless it was topic of conversation, you know? But once again, the flip side of that entire argument is that, oh, hey, Van, thanks. Van has a 34 resub from Hoki, 34-month resub. Thanks, Van. Right on. And thank you, Hoki, too. That kind of stuff does stress me out. Like, I'd like to think that I can distinguish sometimes but who's just screwing around and who actually is doing that gotcha nonsense. Like, it's annoying because sometimes I know that people don't have my undivided attention because I'm background noise. Sometimes I'll be talking about something and people will weigh in on it and they'll completely miss the context and they'll be like, well, actually, EJ, that's not right. And I'll be like, well, actually, you didn't even hear, did you hear what I was saying? No. Then why'd you bother weighing in on it? That happens a lot. People don't hear the entire context of the conversation. They go, oh, no, that's not right. That's not right. That doesn't work that way. Like, it's like, yep. Okay, so A, you didn't hear what I was saying. B, you don't understand the context of the statement. And C, you still decided to weigh in on it. Nice. That happens way more than you guys might think. Teaching rocket science on the internet is tough. It's tough. There's a lot of that. But I'm not complaining about it. Just telling you. It happens. So what? If I can't deal with it, well, guess what? That ain't your problem. That's mine. Like, there's a time to joke around. When I'd like to think when I'm trying to teach people stuff, like, I try to be serious about it, doing that gotcha crap. That just, it's tough. It's tough to manage, but, I'll fix it and we'll do better. Hey, Pete. Well, actually, Pete, you can well actually me. That's fine. 1 year, brother. Hey, any word on that thing, dude? Any word on that thing? The first thing or the second thing? Did you talk to the guy? Who's your favorite person in chat and why is it you? Hey, serious, you're a jerk, but I know you're kidding. I know you're messing around. Like, there are people that do what you do unironically. Like, no problem, like, Lander. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not fishing for compliments. I'm just telling you what's going on, that's all. That stuff does stress me out from time to time, but hey, I deal with it. I've been dealing with it for a decade. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You know, simultaneously, I also have to acknowledge the fact that I don't know everything. I'm not an authority on everything that has to do with spaceflight, and no one is. Not even freaking like John Young. You know, like he didn't know every particular subset of every system on every rocket. I mean, he came close, but no one's an expert on all this stuff. It's far too complicated for one person to be an authority on everything. I understand that. So there's people like I'm gonna get stuff wrong. I'm gonna misspeak. I'm not gonna come up with the best analogy. It happens. Pete with 10 subs. Thanks, man. Yeah, Joe, exactly. I gotta, like I said, if I can't deal with that, that's not my problem because that's not chat's problem that I can't deal with the internet. Like, that's the internet, dude. You kind of have to deal with it, you know? Pete, thanks for the subs, man. I do appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, screw you and the stick horse you limped in on. Wrecked. And that's the other thing you got to remember, Claude Voy. There's kids. Kids like doing the well actually thing all the time. There's kids that watch a stream. There's 15, 16, 17-year-olds. Not everybody here is my age, and like and then there's also throwing the trolls in there too. I gotta understand that. Like, that's hard. That sometimes that's difficult because we'll have a serious conversation and someone will come in and they will have no idea what they're talking about and they'll just start to troll and like, once again, if I can't deal with that, That's not the internet's problem. That's my problem. You know, that's why I'm trying to fix it. Yeah, of course, Dish. Yeah, duh. Shadow's like, I'm a big kid now. It has the GTX 1070 in its Synard, yes. We'll cover that after the Starship news. Have you considered, though, that chat is always right? Depends on who you're talking to, Novus. No, Swishio. I think there's a bit of a language barrier, so you have trouble understanding context. Excuse me, at times. But, hey, I usually take my time and explain it, and I give you crap at the same time. You're very candid in your words. And I know, Swishio, that that's an Italian thing. Ask me how I know. Like... Mamma mia, I'm trying. I know. That's why I always answer you. But I'm not going to use it as an opportunity to not bust your chops, because it's funny. I'm scum. I'm dead scum. Well, that is your name. But, guys, here's what I'm trying to tell you. The overarching thing. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about it. It's not, once again, learning to deal with that for me and getting the patience that I need to be able to deal with the internet, trying to teach rocket science, is not your problem. That is my problem to fix. If I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh, I want to teach rocket science to everybody, but get annoyed when people do stuff like that, well, guess what? You don't deserve to do what you get to do. It's not the internet's problem that I can't deal with the internet. Because trying to fight that battle is a losing battle. So I'll adapt and I'll overcome. I'll figure out other ways. No problem. It's what I've always done. Pete, let me see. Okay, Pete. No worries, man. Excellent. Supercalifragilistic retro propulsion. Your job is done. Excellent. Also, it is Yarg's fault. Kudos to you for the patience. Gek, yeah, it is what it is. It's making me, between spaceflight and, doing my job here, I'm a very patient guy. I've gotten very patient with things. Except when I'm tired. Then I get very impatient very quickly. But that's just me being cranky and not getting sleep. Which is what I'm trying to fix right now. But... yeah. Like I said, it ain't my problem. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I want my safe space on the internet. There's no safe space on the internet. There's the illusion of safe space, but that's it. The internet is a savage place. It's a savage place, dudes. We all know that. It's a crazy, crazy freaking place. I just sub for the emotes. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Dunpeel, teaching space flight is what makes it all worth it. You gotta do that. I can't sit here and claim to be a teacher for everybody and then selectively choose who I teach. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Hey, they got those tiles installed on 20 right there. Those tiles weren't here last time we saw this. Excellent. How often does your satisfactory save clear your inventory? Never happened. That's never happened to me, Flip Up. It's never happened. Never happened. It's false. It's fiction. We made it up. This one was invented by a writer. We've still got a little bit of a gap right there. Yeah, the tiles are aesthetic as hell, Infi. I love it. It makes me happy. And here comes Swishio saying that, don't compare it to the shuttle again. Well, guess what, Swish? I'm gonna. It makes me happy to see something shuttle-esque happening again. Starship will vindicate my space shuttle, and it'll show you that reusable space flight is the right move. Boom. Destroyed. What's the red tile, though? Oh, it's the gasoline tile, Dunpeel. I'm not sure. It looks like a tile that's been scraped off, or it could be a test tile. This is the hottest part. Starship is going to get the hottest right here and right here. The red means go. Yeah. I'm not sure what these are, fellas. I don't know. It could be a damaged tile. It could be an older tile. It could be a test material that SpaceX is running, but there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to where they're testing it and how they're, like, where they're putting, so I'm not 100% sure. I'm still waiting for a SpaceX version of SCRV. Oh, we can dream, Xeon. We can dream. I have a better idea. Hexagonal tiles on a shuttle. Yeah. It could be sensors, Jim. Yeah, that's possible. What are these? Are those like little dangly bits? Dangly parts. Hanging from the ground. Are those supposed to be there? Or is that aesthetic? I don't know. maybe they're like a rangefinder or something. Engineering camera targets? Ah, I was like, what, are we hanging pendants on the crane now? That's one of the legs for the crane. Those are retractable, which is cool. They fold into the tread. Or, actually, no, those ones don't fold into the tread. Those are a fixed leg. Cool. It's possible, Staples. The tiles are the thickest around the wings. I think the wings might be the thing that gets the hottest bird. Transported to the production site. Interesting. It looks like they're going to use. It looks like they're going to use this thing to start building that wide bay. If I had to guess, Ferd. SpaceX Ferd. Last for the red tiles. The glue they use is red, so that's where that comes from. Oh, okay. Ferd. 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 Nice truck. It's just the crane being fabulous. Yeah, right, Dragon? I know what you mean. Beautiful cranes. Ah, yeah. Beautiful cranes. She was a seaside picking up the rockets and stacking them on top of the pad, on top of the pad, top of the pad. Ah, really, Cooking Fat? Hell yeah. Ah, yeah. Beautiful cranes. Ah, yeah. Beautiful cranes. I love them. I need them. Can't do without them. No. Still don't know what this thing is. Ship, leg, skirt, and forward dome. That really lifted my spirit.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
22's forward dome section. So this piece right here will have that piece stacked on top of it soon. Hey, class 39-month resub. Yeah, see, you know there's a booster forward section because you see the holes for the grid fins. It's pretty neat. Yeah, that forward section was put on the midsection. Test tank. Booster 6 sounds like it's a test design. Cool. We got a couple more videos from our buddies over at NASA Spaceflight. We just watched that one. Let's check this guy. Once again, this footage is coming from NSF. They're nice enough to let me basically look at this and commentate on it. With no, repercussions there. So I do appreciate that. Make sure you go over there and give those guys a subscription, okay? It's interesting, though, that they're doing it now. Yeah, very strange, Thomas. How long until they end up making the tank barrels from single sheets? Yeah, I don't know. No, NASA space flight, Procyon. Wide bay construction continues. Where's my FIRD? Where's my FIRD? Where's that step side? It's got to be here. See, NSF, NASA space flight. Meh, Chevy. Gross. So, for the people that are wondering, okay, so why do some of these have no bolts in them and why are some of them fully bolted? The ones that are fully bolted are in their finalized position. What they got to do with this thing is they got to make sure that they put all the pieces on before they tighten all this stuff down. Anybody that's ever assembled IKEA furniture knows exactly what I'm talking about. Pilot some stuff in there and keep these bolts loose so you can move it around and make sure that everything is completely true and then tighten everything up. Anybody that's ever put a tire on to a car knows that, you star pattern it, right? And then you tighten everything down. Literally the same thing, but with buildings. Or an erector set. Yeah, Meccano for the people overseas. Yeah, Jim, I noticed that too. The high bay was built in modular segments. It looks like they're just kind of going on this one. Yeah, drummer. Yeah, that's right. Burbs. Yeah, there's 21. You can tell that isn't liquid nitrogen. It doesn't have liquid nitrogen in it because of the way it is. That's just an empty nitrogen tank. And that guy has a stop sign. You can tell it's a stop sign because of the way it is. So it's carrying the mark for 1977, so that's nitrogen. That is a heavy freaking tank. Holy balls. Where is this going? No leg welds on the ship 21 since that's going into the ocean. Is that a Falcon 9 transport rig? No, it's not, but it's close. Where is this going? Vintage nitrogen, yeah. Huh. Ford. See, the Fords are the ones that are doing all the work, I'm telling you. So this is used. Obviously, it's been used. This is the pressure building outlet and the pressure building inlet, and then the liquid inlet, and the recirculating pump and the vapor return. You can tell those are those things because of the way that they are. This one is not full, granted. I highly doubt that it's carrying nitrogen. It's the only mark for 1977 is on the very front of the tank. The truck trailers aren't carrying a 1977 marker, and neither is the big rig. So I'm pretty sure it's an empty tank. Why don't they clean it? It's just being delivered, Merc. They'll probably clean it when they put it in place. Starbase Vehicle Integration. FIRD. Starbase vehicle integration. Can I borrow this? I want this. Could also be road dirt myth, yeah. Brrr. Hello. Ship 22 forward dome section lifted into the mid bay. All right. Man, look at the tile. Look at the tile placement on that. That's perfect. I'm telling you, if you look at ship 20 compared to 22, look at that. Those tiles are perfectly uniform. There is literally nothing. There is no abnormalities at all. All those tiles are perfectly spaced. There's a couple right there, but that's probably because it hasn't been stacked yet. Man, that's pretty. Look at it. Look at how much more uniform. SpaceX has gotten real good at putting these tiles on real quick. I wonder if SpaceX has surpassed the amount of tiles put on starships from the shuttle program. Each shuttle had around 30,000 tiles on it, and there was what? So there's Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour. So that's 150,000 tiles. I wonder if SpaceX has surpassed that. But then again, there's the entire life of the shuttle program where the tiles were replaced over time, so who knows? I wonder at what point SpaceX will surpass the amount of tiles applied over NASA. I'm not tile counting that, Jazzo. Somebody else can do that. How is Starship Super Heavy going to deal with the off-center center of mass because of the tiling? The tiles don't have that much moment, Panta. The center of mass might be a little bit lower, but it's not enough to drastically shift. Paging Ian for the tile counting. Did Enterprise have tiles? Nah, they're fiberglass. They were fiberglass approximations of the actual things, Cupcake. Source, I've stared at them up close from about as far as I am from the camera to you. Yeah, it's just fiberglass. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cerebral, right? My lights are getting hot because dust is on them. I gotta clean out the setup here. I haven't done it in a little while. I'm good, Ismic. How are you? You guys know that, like, dusty heat smell? Yeah, that's coming from in here. I gotta clean all this stuff out. Probably do that next week. How would you configure a Starship factory line? It can't be much different than a car factory. I don't know, Swishio. Yeah, RJ, I'm with you on that one. Yeah, I saw them, Gooch. Yeah, interesting. How was the truck winterization effort? All good? I got the tonneau cover on. Anesthesis. Yeah, so the bed should be fine during the winter. I want to get it rolling again. Still gotta fix some things with the clutch. But once I get it up and running, yeah, we'll continue winterization efforts. And go from there. I'm probably going to play more Satisfactory. I got to work on that oil infrastructure, Ismic. This is really starting to look like a spaceship, man. You know what I'm wondering, dudes? If they're just going to let the tiles kind of stop. Like, is there going to be anything here? Or is it like is there going to be a topper right there? Because NASA had, like, tiles that were kind of straight edged like this. I'm wondering if they're gonna have like a border tile or something, you know? When can we expect Starship launches? Early next year, Owly, from what I understand. Go back to the nose cone in the tent. It has no lift points. Oh, no lift points, Thomas. Ah, yeah. It's interesting, Thomas, because this has no lift points, but it's not the nose cone that has the metal strips all the way up to the top. End of the year, Foz. Why border tiles though? Doesn't really need them, IMO. Well, Swishio, that's what I'm wondering. I don't think they need them either, for what it's worth. I'm wondering if they're gonna put anything there, or if it's just gonna be like, oh, the tile stops, and here's some stainless steel. I think that's what it's gonna be. Okay, Seinerd. Yeah, that's why I'm scaling oil. Oil is pretty damn good for long-term power generation. We could move to nuclear maybe eventually. Yeah, see, like, this is what I'm talking about. Is that just how it's gonna be? You know? Still crazy, though. Even the tiles on Ship 21, man, look at how much nicer those are than 20. I'm telling you, SpaceX learned a lot from applying these tiles. That's, dude, it's like the shuttle, man. That makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. Ah! Oh, seeing these things in space is gonna be so cool. Yeah, pretty much. Seinerd, yeah, I'm with you. Dang, boy, those I-beams are thick. That's a thick I-beam. Damn! Ba-ba! When Stork ship? Soon. Yeah, something like that, Swish. Why would the tiles at the front look different? I think they're glued, Gujar, as opposed to mechanical. Taking into account different thermal expansion and contraction. Holy crap, that's a big transformer. I think that's a transformer. Not the, no, not the, no, not that. Different transformer. Yeah, I know, Zero. I like looking at all this stuff, too. It makes me so happy. Autobots, roll out. Now, the transformer is the tower at Mechazilla. Duh. Nitrogen vent. The nose cone tip of the tiles are glued. There's a difference between 20 and 21, though, as 20 has no 20 tiles have no blanket material on them, and the ships going forward will. Yeah, Gujar, maybe. You imagine a starship doing the flip and burn, and then it transforms? And that'd be cool. Is there a reason why Starship doesn't come in rear end first, similar to the Falcon 9 boosters? That would alleviate for the need for so much heat shielding. If you're coming in booster first, you need to fire the engines to make your heat shield dead. And if you do that, you need to carry a lot of fuel. The real question is, yeah, that's possible, but what's heavier? What's more mass? The 30,000 tiles that are on Starship, or the however many gallons of fuel that they need? I'll give you the easy answer. The tiles are lighter. And if you can make your thermal protection system lighter, less mass, to do the same thing, then why would you do that? Why would you have fuel? Why Starship doesn't come in first? Because carrying all that extra fuel to do that type of entry burn is not nearly as less mass as all those dang tiles. Those tiles are super light. They have the consistency of about styrofoam, give or take. Yeah, it's very, very, very simple answer there. Tiles are lighter. That's it. Space Shuttle was the same way. Will you cover the James Webb Space Telescope? Yeah, of course, Emmy. Yeah, definitely. You have an alarm set for that launch? Yep. How much do the tiles cost? I'm not sure, Game Coder. I know that SpaceX makes them. They make them in Florida, believe it or not. Were they the place where they were making starships in Florida at Sidco Road? They make tiles there now. Do you think SpaceX has simulated Starship landing on the moon and or Mars? Absolutely. We've seen their simulations from Mars landings before. You haven't found anything on their factory yet for the tiles. Yeah, C-22, it's gonna be awesome. Sidco makes the slurry, and there's a location in Port Canaveral where they make the tiles. There you go. Yeah, Jim, that's a very good point. Look at that thing. Okay. So... it's a great noise. There's two COPV, composite overwrap pressure vessels. Think a scuba tank wrapped in carbon fiber. They're designed for storing gases and liquids at very, very high pressure. There's other COPV bottles up here that are a lot bigger. I'm not sure exactly what this is all for here. Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend. I think that these are propellants for starting up the Raptor engines. These COPVs that are here are to give the Raptor, the center Raptor engines, the capability to gimbal and fire again. I think. I could be wrong about that. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it's some damn eye candy to watch and look at, isn't it? Look at that thing. It's aesthetic. It's aesthetic as hell. Yeah, exactly, Cerebral, yep. Yeah, Zero, for sure. Look at all these little things. Tesla's so busy now. It's like a little ballet. Now think about all the people that created them, technicians, engineers. They can go home and feed their children tonight. Their children grow up to be big and strong and so on and so forth. Just adding to the great chain of life. Yeah, see, Tesla, in reality, you and I are in the same business. Cheers. Where's the robot to pat you on the back? EJ finally talking normal without his silly accent. Well, what the heck are you talking about, boy? I don't talk like this all the time. So busy now. You're pretty good with movie impressions. Thanks, man. Ah, I remember you now, the so-called art dealer. Ah, Father, it's good to see you again. I want to preserve life, but you seem to want to destroy it. Ah, Father, you are so wrong. Life, as you so simply put it, comes from little destruction, disorder, and chaos. Take this Starship test tank. Peaceful, serene, boring. But if it is destroyed, look at all these little things. So busy now. Yeah, me too, Disciple. Your entire thing comes crashing down due to one little change. Okay. Zorg jokes aside. See this thing right here? That super tall man basket? So the man lift? It's basically just a little gantry that you can use to go up and around. This thing is off the shelf, believe it or not, because it's designed to service wind turbines. It's designed to get you up on top of a wind turbine. Yeah, that's what this type of lift is used for. But, chat, pro tip. If you make a booster rocket that's as tall as a wind turbine, you can use wind turbine man lifts. There's your pro tip for the day. That's loading screen tier right there. Das actually contacted the company that owns that, really? Don't be stupid. That's the Canadian Space Army. Yeah, my bad, dude. I think about all the people that created them technicians, engineers that can go home and feed their children tonight. They're moving the whole test stand back, huh? Damn. Damn. Anybody notice how these tires aren't deforming? No air in those. That's just a solid rubber tire. Sorry, I won't do that again. Yeah, I know, Thomas. I don't. If I ever get rich, dude, I'm buying an SPMT. Do I have any idea what I'm gonna do with it? No. Do I care? No. Am I rich? Can I afford an SPMT? Yes. I want one. Don't know what I'm gonna use it for. Maybe move my house around. I have no idea. Here you can see a Texas herd of trucks preying on the grain silo here. You can see that the pickup trucks, are chomping at the bit to have some of their grain silo. And they will tear it apart and enjoy the sweet, savory resources of the grain silo. It's just the circle of life, chat. See, they're chomping at the bits here. Look at all these pickup trucks. Yes. The voracious predator. See that other pickup trucks are scrounging for resources, but none. But they might be late to the game. For the pickup trucks that are chomping at the bit to get that sweet, savory grain silo. Nice Tahoe. Yeah, Sheriff's got a nice car, Thomas. Water. Fruit. A cherry. What's that, Fazilla? Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Nah, whatever, dude. It's fine. He spends that money on spaceflight. It's okay. It's okay. So this is the thing that they pumped an incredible amount of nitrogen through over the past couple of days. It's some kind of test article, and it's on the dynamic test stand, but they never activated the dynamic test stand, which is strange. Yeah, sorted. There you go. There you go. I don't know, Bob. I really don't know. And now that the grain silo has been preyed upon, all the pickup trucks are leaving, searching for another grain silo to enjoy the sweet, savory fuel on board. They're all vacating after all the meat has been picked off of the bone. Huh? What? Shut up. Now, I'll admit, not too much of a Chevy guy, but I like this 3/4 ton. That's a nice truck. Looks like a 2500 HD or something. Nice truck. Do we have a date for the next launch? For SpaceX, the programmatic environmental assessment has to go away. It will not go away. They have to finish it. It should be completed by the end of the year, Gujar. That's the deadline that the FAA set. Once that thing passes, or if it passes, SpaceX will be basically cleared to launch. They had to redo the environmental impact assessment, guys. You got to cross the T's and dot the I's. You have to do that stuff. I know it's annoying, but you got to. Yeah, well, if it passes, I'm pretty dang sure it will. If it passes, we could see a launch as early as January, but I'm going to say February. February is most likely what's going to, Isn't there an issue with Raptors, though? No, there's no issue with Raptors at all. There's an issue with scaling the Raptors production line, Falava. It has nothing to do with the Raptors. It's the factory. They have to be able to make the factory that makes Raptors make Raptors faster. There's nothing wrong with Raptors design. Yeah, that was that whole thing. That thing got way blown out of proportion, huh? Elon's to do a Starship update either this month or next month. Hopefully he actually does it this time. He doesn't need to do Starship updates, Thomas. We get daily updates, my guy. We get daily updates, bruh. Alright, we're going to cap off Space News with some quick Falcon 9 stuff here. Check this out. Got another Falcon 9 ready to go. NASA's IXPE mission. Infrared X-ray... Here, hold on. I forgot the acronym for the satellite. The LCRD launched last night, which is pretty cool. I know it's IXPE. I don't know what the acronym is, Synerd. The Imaging X-ray Polarimetry Explorer satellite, which is pretty cool. The daily updates show us the what. A Starship gives us juicy info on the whys. Yeah, but Enko, I like theory crafting the whys itself. It's seeing if I can piece together the puzzle. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Absolutely. Just watch the Atlas launch. It was pretty neat. Yeah, Ziggy. Atlas is, dude. Look, expendable, yes, but Atlas is one of the prettiest rockets around. It's a very, very aesthetically pleasing design, especially the Bruiser. The Bruiser is, oh. Ooh, that's nice. Forgot I had this new Starship build overlay. Oh. Okay, I'll check that out, Thomas. But that Delta Orange, though. Boring. Don't tell anybody. I like Delta more than I like Atlas. I'm sorry. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell anybody. I like Delta. I think Delta's a better system. Don't tell nobody. I like Delta a lot. Delta's my favorite expendable launch vehicle. Atlas is cool. Don't get me wrong. Delta's cooler. That's the plans from the old pad design, which they ripped up. Orange rocket, good, indeed. Novus, I think we should call SLS Delta 5. So, what do you think of that? It's technically a variant. Technically, it still counts. Because Delta 4's design was derived from shuttle-derived components. Spray-on foam insulation, inner tank design. The RS-68 can share a common lineage with the shuttle main engine. So, therefore, SLS should be called Delta 5. There, I said it. No, Jupiter 4 is stupid. Delta 5. It's a Delta rocket. It has a Delta upper stage on it. No, screw Jupiter 4. Screw that name. No, Delta 5. Continue the lineage of Delta rockets. If they only had actually expanded on Cryo Delta, Delta 4 wasn't enough to justify LH2 core stages. It's a shame, Demo. It's a shame that the RS-68, that lineage is going away. That is a catastrophic loss in capability. But Vulcan, I guess. CB radio or walkie-talkies? Call it whatever you want. A little bit C-22, yeah. Alright, what are we looking at here, Thomas? These are the old plans? These are the SpaceX plans overlaid on Pad 39. This is the old site development map from 2019. Oh, they were going to make a road there. Huh. You think Tori would let NASA call SLS Delta 5? Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Stabilized equipment laydown and fabrication pad. Interesting. Offload area, offloading to be fenced off. Rocket support facility, proposed water tanks. The loading area. Oh, interesting. Yeah, this won't work anymore. This design won't work. It looks like they were going to load from one side and flame duct out the other at one point, but how do you think Mechazilla is going to fit into this? Huh. Where do you think they're going to put the pad? Not sure how Mechazilla will work with this. Interesting. Thomas, they might put the pad right there. Space vehicle launch pad, hardline outbox, looks like where the tower would go. Well, these are the old plans, Synerd. These are the plans from 2019. This has been scrapped. I guarantee you they're not doing this. This was the old 2019 Starship design, which had twin fixed service structures. Yeah. So it looks like they were going to load from the back, right? They were going to load and stack from the back, and the flame deflector would be going in the other direction. Very simple design. They went even simpler with the orbital pad in Texas. Doesn't even have. It's agnostic. You can have something that'll pivot. So I'm trying to think where like a tower would go. Where would they build Mechazilla? I'm thinking Mechazilla, Thomas, would be right here. Like if they're gonna build something like starships, like the Starship pad in Texas, I would put it right here. Basically right where all those commodity lines go in. Why? Because I'd put the pad in the same spot, and I'd put Mechazilla off and to the left. That way you could still use the loading area. It will pivot, right? And then I would catch over here where there's just a retention pond. I would catch right there. And then I would move the water tank bypass, move it somewhere else. Where they're drilling right now for the pad, because that's not exactly where the old pad was. Do you think more information will be available once this isn't on private land? Yeah. Those are the old plans, guys, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's the IXP rollout right there. We're talking, those plans were on the right side of the pad, so over here. Interesting. That picture is extremely coggers. What's this? Yeah, that's a pretty cool place to watch it, for sure. How many flights on this booster? 6, I think. Crew, this is a NASA booster. It supported Crew 1, Crew 2, Turksat 5, I think. I think I gotta go and remember. It's funny how SpaceX can make 2019 feel like ancient history. Yeah, right. They're going very fast, Bill. They gotta Yeah, you gotta keep up with day-to-day content to understand what SpaceX is trying to do, man. It's kind of insane. Have any hit 11 yet? No, nothing yet. They've gotten them to 10 flights, and I think they'll pursue that when they have to. Anyway. Alright, guys. I think that's all the space news. I think I got all of it. There is one last thing, actually. This one is strange, and this is a little bit out of my wheelhouse, so I don't really know what the heck's going on here. But, here, take a look at this. Oh, God. So, the Advanced Research Projects Agency funded researchers accidentally create the world's first warp bubble. All right. Warp drive pioneer and former NASA warp drive specialist Harold Sonny White has reported the successful manifestation of an actual real-world warp bubble. And according to White, this is the first of its kind breakthrough by his Limitless Space Institute team. Well, this is the first kind of breakthrough by his Limited Space Institute team sets a... Is that a sentence? And according to White, this first kind of breakthrough by his Limitless Space Institute team sets a new starting point for those trying to manufacture a full-sized warp-capable spacecraft. To be clear, our finding is not a warp bubble analog. It is real, albeit a humble and tiny warp bubble. White told the debrief, quickly dispensing with the notion that this is anything other than the creation of an actual real-world warp bubble, hence the significance. In 1994, Mexican mathematician Michael Alcubierre proposed the first mathematically valid solution to warp drive. More specifically, he outlined a spacecraft propulsion system previously only envisioned in science fiction that can traverse the cosmos above the speed of light without violating currently accepted laws of physics. The solution was lauded for its elegant mathematics, yet simultaneously derided for its use of theoretical materials and massive amounts of energy that appeared virtually impossible to engineer in any practical way. Over a decade later, his theory underwent a major shift, when Dr. White, then a NASA-employed warp drive specialist and the founder of the highly respected Eagle Works laboratory, reworked Alcubierre's original metric and put it into canonical form. This change in design dramatically reduced the exotic materials and energy requirements of the original concept, seemingly provided researchers and science fiction fans alike at least a glimmer of hope that a real-world warp drive might one day become a reality. It also resulted in the informal renaming of the original theoretical design, a concept now more commonly referred to as the Alcubierre-White warp drive. Since then, the debrief discovered a number of physicists and engineers taking their own stabs at designing a viable warp drive, including an entire group of international researchers working on a warp drive that requires no exotic matter. However, like Alcubierre and White before them, the warp drive concepts of these would-be visionaries all still remain theoretical in nature. Now it appears the situation has changed. Oh, this is way above my pay grade. Holy crap. This is way above my pay grade. Damn, dude. What do we do? What is this? Yeah, I need Horizon Psi for this. Oh, what the frick? I know about Alcubierre drives, but alright. Oh, okay, submitted, yeah. Oh, you can figure it out. You always do. Okay. It is often said that timing is everything. Therefore, it's not surprising that back when Dr. White began his latest DARPA-funded research into custom Casimir cavities, a unique microscale structure with all types of promising applications. I don't know what any of this means. He definitely did not expect to stumble upon this potentially historic discovery, particularly one supporting a theoretical concept that is often defined as public persona. Some work we've been doing for DARPA Defense Science Office is the study of some custom Casimir cavity geometries. In the process of doing that work, we kind of made an accidental discovery. Without going into the complicated physics behind Casimir cavities and the tantalizing quantum scale forces often observed in these unusual structures, it suffices to say that they are in no way related to warp drive theory or mechanics. At least they've never been before, but White says it is work that he and his LSI team are passionate about and something DARPA believes has a number of possible applications. So whether by pure coincidence or some sort of personal destiny, it appears that one of a handful of engineers on the planet who would immediately know what he was looking at when conducting a Casimir cavity research was in the exact right place at the exact right time to notice a striking similarity to his warp drive passion project in his current research, an observation that may have otherwise gone unseen. I think this is a great example of sometimes you're doing work for one reason and you find something else that you really didn't expect to find. Happens all the time. Oh yeah. Hi, link please. Okay. What's up, Zobraz? How are you? Very brief summary is they applied a new mathematical apparatus called wordline numerics into modeling what happens at Casimir experiments, i.e. two plates very close to each other experiencing pressure pulling them towards one another. Yeah, Zero, that's what it sounds like. Yeah, Panta, I don't think that applies here. Yeah, Jackery, right? Unbelievable. Let's see. While conducting analysis related to a DARPA-funded project to evaluate possible structure of the energy density present in a Casimir cavity as predicted by the dynamic vacuum model, reads the actual findings published in the peer-reviewed European Physics Journal. A micro-nanoscale structure has been discovered that predicts negative energy density distribution that closely matches the requirements for the Alcubierre metric. Or put more simply, as White did in a recent email to the debrief, to my knowledge, this is the first paper in the peer-reviewed literature that proposes a realizable nanostructure that is predicated to manifest a real, albeit humble, warp bubble. This fortuitous finding, says White, not only confirms the predicted toroidal structure and negative energy aspects of a warp bubble, but also resulted in potential pathways he and other researchers can follow when trying to design and one day actually construct a real warp-capable spacecraft. That exotic material? Prefamulated amulite. Malleable logarithmic casings. Link to the actual paper. Yeah, I want to go to the source. Give me the sauce, fool. Oh, Dark Reader didn't like that. Alright. Okay. Just get out of here. Show me the pictures, Miles. Huh. A lot of tangent work right there. Huh. Toroidal inductors and reluctors is what Nikola Tesla purportedly used for the Philadelphia experiment, where people melted into the structure. Guys, okay, so no, I gotta read more. Nope, not ready. Be warned, this is a hard nut. Yeah, I'm trying to come up with a 5-second explanation for this. That's why I'm kind of skipping around and looking for different things that I can pick up off of. This is showing what a Casimir. This is talking. The thing basically starts with Casimir stuff and how that works. Not Casimir stuff, but you get the idea. And then basically it shows how this applies to Alcubierre's experiments, and that's what or Alcubierre's mathematics. Let me put it to you like that. The animations show that as the warp bubble wall thickness increases, the peak energy density decreases significantly, and as the warp bubble wall decreases, the peak energy density increases. The reasoning behind this response is that York time can be viewed as a sort of three-dimensional strain of space. The amount of a three-dimensional strain needed to manifest a target speed Vs decreases and is accompanied by a decrease of energy density and thus a reduction in total energy. This is not without a cost. As it can be seen in the online animation of the York time field, the region of flat space-time available for critical points of the crash, say for a crew or scientific instruments, is decreased as the bubble wall thickness is increased. So the energy optimization process has The energy optimization process has a competing constraint in the form of the size required, R, for the warp bubble to adequately encapsulate sensitive cargo within the flat space-time region inside of the bubble. Everybody got that? ELA 5, please. Well, in this particular area, Sile, okay. I gotta read the context of why this statement was made, and I'll be able to explain it a little bit better. That's just one piece of the puzzle. I could go through the whole thing, fellas, if you want. I think this kind of warrants our time, don't you think? You don't want the thing to spaghettify your astronauts. Long story short, they're talking about the yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you spaghettify your astronauts. That's the right way to say that. Sure. Casimir world line numbers. Let me get to the analysis and results. As discussed in the opening of the manuscript, the critical concern for this project is the presence of a pillar in the Casimir cavity. The presence of a pillar in a Casimir cavity would serve to screen itself in such a way that it would be unable to see the negative vacuum energy density gradient predicted to be present in the cavity if the pillars were not present. A model was built to assess a I'm going to say UM, but that's not how you say that. Cavity with a 1, we're talking microns here, right? That's micrometer, yep. Micrometers, okay. And a 1 micrometer diameter pillar placed at the middle of the cavity. This model discretization was a 35 by 35 grid running at plus or minus 4 micrometers in both the x and the y-axis. The x-axis is the vector normal to the parallel cavity plates, and the y-axis is orthogonal to the x-axis and defines the 2D surface for energy density plots. Okay. The origin of the coordinate system is at the center of the pillar. The analysis results are shown in Figure 7 with a two-dimensional representation of the energy density depicted in the left panel and a log of the energy density levels in the right panel. Inspecting the log plot on the right shows that while the presence of the pillar in the cavity does perturb the field, it actually serves to significantly increase the effect negative vacuum energy density seen in the pillar by a factor of 3 to 5 compared to the density level present without the pillar in the cavity. These analysis results would suggest that the pillar does not adversely self-screen itself in a manner that prevents it from seeing the field magnitude in the cavity with no pillar present. Rather, due to the slightly elevated state, it could be reasoned that the pillar seems to focus the gradient in a manner that would at most allow the pillar to drain the stored energy in the cavity at a quicker rate once it is connected to the high impedance oscilloscope. This effect might result in a need for more cavities to provide enough stored energy such that the duration of the transient voltage signal will last long enough for the detection. Are we sure we're not reading about turboencabulators here? Well, the analysis results discovered above are encouraging for the project objective of attempting to measure the presence of structure in the negative vacuum energy density within a customized Casimir cavity. The implications of this particular predicated negative vacuum energy density distribution is quite intriguing for an altogether different reason. As so happens, the structure of the field around the pillar in the two-dimensional plot is quantitatively very similar to the plot of the negative vacuum energy density necessary for the Alcubierre warp metric. Figure 9 shows a zoomed-in view on the numeric ward line analysis of the plate pillar case. Energy density plot for the Alcubierre metric. Close view of ward line numerics energy density around the pillar. Section cut of predicated toroidal Casimir energy distribution sphere cylinder system. Notional micro nanostructure depicting the array of sphere cylinder construction for the possible experiment. Do you want to meet the forerunners? Because this is how you beat the forerunners. This is looking like the kinds of effects that the protomolecule used to move Eros in apparent defiance into the laws of physics. Somebody already said life imitates art. Conclusion. The impetus for the work discussed in this manuscript was to explore the the implications of the dynamic vacuum model as applied to a custom Casimir cavity geometry. The dynamic vacuum model suggests that the state of negative vacuum energy density in the cavity is not just an isotropic value that is consistent through the enclosing geometry. Rather, it has spatial variation and can manifest complicated structure. In the process of the team exploring the literature, a technique called world-line numerics was discovered that also predicts that there is a structure to the perturbed vacuum state that is predicated to exist in a notional Casimir cavity. This technique was used to evaluate the predicated state of the vacuum in response to the presence of small pillars placed at the mid-plane of a Casimir cavity. The analysis showed that the pillar would not adversely screen itself from the predicted background field that exists in response to just the presence of the plates. The analysis also showed that a possible intersection with a model developed in the context of general relativity to understand how hyperfast stellar travel might be manifested mathematically. The qualitative correlation would suggest that a chip-scale experiment might be explored to attempt to measure a tiny signature illustrative to the presence of the conjectured phenomenon. Long story short, this is the conclusion right there in plain English says that we were using this model to figure out something else, and we accidentally figured out something that quantifies Alcubierre's mathematics. And this could be used in experiments to demonstrate warp drives in the future. That's it. I said it. Those 4 sentences says what all that says in a much more simple way. Just imagine shearing something using a warp field. So, guys, I'm going to try to ELA 5 this. I'm probably going to get it wrong. I'll try. This is something that I would need a lot more time to figure out. Or figure out a way to explain it, not figure out how it works. We know how it works. It says theoretically how it works. So that negative density, the negative density field that they were talking about is this thing right here. An Alcubierre drive basically warps space and time in such a way to allow faster travel through space-time. Space-time, if you consider it a flat plane of existence, so our dimension is a flat plane of existence, right? There are things in our universe that warp space and time. This is the theory of relativity. That's what it basically says. There are some phenomenon in our universe can generate enough energy to actually warp light and thus space-time. Think about it like if you threw a rock into a pond, it would make ripples. Same kind of idea. The sun, for instance, warps light. This was proven with Einstein's theory that stars warp light. They warp space and time. Because in the night sky, during an eclipse, they imaged where a star was relative to other positions, and they figured out that the star in orbital mechanics was doing or the planets around a star was doing this. They were going back and forth, and then they keep going. That doesn't make any sense. The reality of that situation is that they were seeing space and time being diffused through light being diffused through space and time, basically going around the ripple. That's what you were seeing. That's a very simple way of explaining Einstein's theory there. It's very, very simple. Long story short, we figured out a way to basically create a ripple. Yeah, they figured out a way to create negative mass density, meaning that this part right here, this thing, they figured out a way that uses way less energy, or theoretically could use way less energy to be able to warp space and time. How an Alcubierre drive works is it makes ripples around the ship. Think of a boat going through water, all right? There's a wake that gets left, that's ripples in the water. But there's no ripples on the boat, right? Same idea here. But it's doing that, instead of doing that with water, it's doing it with space-time, which is strange. This negative mass density is what they're talking about. This is that warp bubble right here. Especially this part right here. See that? This is what they're talking about. This part is the part they were like, huh? And I guess by reciprocal math, the expanding space. But the contracting space is what they figured out. The contracting space was enough to create a pocket, a stable pocket around the rippled area. And now, okay, so how does this apply to it? How the hell will this work? Like, what warp drive? What are you talking about? How can something be there or be over there? Well, no. Think once again. If I'm thinking about this right, think about space-time being just a material that a spacecraft needs to pass through, right? So planes, for instance, have come up with ways to warp air in different ways to get them to go faster, right? So think like the XB-70 with compression lift. That's that, but instead of the medium being air that you travel through or water for a ship, it's space and time. It basically allows it passes through space and time much quicker because there's basically a vacuum in front of it. There's nothing in front of it. And that pulls you forward and you can go faster. Think of it like a bulbous bow for a spaceship. Bulbous bows are something, here, I'll show you. Bulbous bows are basically a big, huge, like kidney bean thing that comes out of the front of a ship. What that is designed to do is basically move the water out of the way. It moves the water up and out. Why do you do that? Well, better hydrodynamics. It pushes the water physically up out of the way around the boat hull. That's actually better than having just something cut right through the waves. A lot of ships have bulbous bows, but you never see them. Yeah, that's actually more hydrodynamic than what you might think. See what I'm talking about here? This shows the difference with a bulbous bow versus a cut hull. The blue is a straight hull. One has the bulbous bow, and look at the amplitude of the wake. See what I'm talking about? That's what the Alcubierre drive does, but with space and time. At least that's what I'm thinking. I could be 100% wrong. It's aerodynamics, but with space and time. Yeah, that makes sense. Very strange, weird stuff to wrap your head around. Bulbous bow. Yeah, right. More like pulbous pow. Got him. See the wake, though? That, right there. That's actually a great model. It's that, but with space and time. Pretty nuts, huh? So short story, we can do donuts in space. Yep. Basically, this is creating a negative mass field in front of you, and that creates a vacuum that pulls the spacecraft forward. Negative mass density, which is weird. That's weird stuff that's weird, man. That's really strange. But supposedly, like, I guess if you did this right, if you did this right, this, you could get to the moon in a minute. It wouldn't take very long. Found a pic which shows where they did the drilling on 39A. It's east of the old pad. Let me see. Yeah. Interesting. Thomas, I got you. What happens when you get the warp drive stuck in the Suez Canal? Help me, stepson, I'm stuck! That actually works. Let's change the subject. So, this York time thing and energy distribution was talking about something different. All right, what this is talking about over here is basically, if you look, the plateau inside of this bubble, everything will seem like it's working normal. Think about like a bubble underwater. If you could just keep a bubble underwater sitting there, inside of that bubble, everything, you're not wet, are you? And in this particular case, this stuff is wet. You know what I mean? They were basically talking about that you can create more efficient ways to go through to do Alcubierre's drive, but that more efficient way has a problem. The problem is if you use this more efficient propulsion mechanism, right, this bubble will be smaller. And I guarantee you do not want something falling in this pocket right here. something falling through this pocket will start to experience some really weird phenomenon going on there. That's something I never ever wished that. Yeah, I don't want to do that. That's why Synerd was saying spaghettifying people. Yeah. That would be like falling in a black hole. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Don't fall into the black hole. Space-time shear. Indeed, demo. If I recall correctly, technically the ship stays stationary and the space is what can deform at faster than light speeds, like an object on a conveyor belt. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. This is where it gets weird, Lunprod, because we think of spacecraft or like a spaceship, you know, okay, it's here, now it's over here. No, it's here, now it's over here. Like this. It's very strange. Yeah. Space and time moves around it, which is bizarre. Because look, like I said, see, space and time is moving here. But space and time is not moving here. It's very, very, this is tough. This is getting into the universe's game engine, so to speak, and really, this is Kraken tech, basically, in real life. That's basically what it is. Yeah, it's very strange phenomenon going on here. Long story short, ludicrous speed. No one's making the ship. They did an experiment where they were testing something else, Gorthon, and they figured out this phenomenon that they accidentally stumbled upon it, which is kind of nuts. It's a Kraken drive in real life, Lunprod. Yeah, it literally is creating something. It's creating movement from nothing. Well, not really. Nah, Kraken drive defies physics. This is more of just... This isn't really breaking any physics. That's the thing. The paper explicitly mentions that it's not really breaking any practical laws of physics. What it's doing is it's using the theory of relativity to its advantage, which is, once again, very strange. Basically the system from the Futurama ship. Snatcher, the funny thing about Futurama is that David Cohen is a physicist. I'm pretty damn sure, if I'm remembering right. The guys the people that wrote Futurama are a bunch of nerds. Like mathematicians and scientists and stuff. The people that wrote that show. So what Planet Express ship does is not that far off. I'll bet you they used Alcubierre's numbers to figure that one out. The writers of Futurama have written a scientific paper about a formula that was used in the show as exposition for a plot device in the show. They wrote a scientific paper about it. So yeah, Futurama is a lot more realistic than one might think, which is kind of crazy to me. Yeah, loophole in physics. Or a wormhole, right? Yeah. You're basically creating a black hole in front of your ship to accelerate space and time around it. Think like, the Back to the Future DeLorean in Back to the Future. It has that projector and it creates the time portal out in front of it and then goes through it. That's what it does. It's kind of like that. Yeah, maybe, Phoboid. Who knows? I can safely say that nobody understands quantum mechanics.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, quantum mechanics are weird, man. You want to understand how quantum stuff works? It's there, now it's over there, and I have no idea why. You understand it? You don't understand it. You have no idea why that just happened, but that just happened. That's quantum physics. It's weird, man. It's weird stuff. Like I said, this is a little outside of my damn purview. Like, dude, I don't know. I think I got this right, but once again, that was an off-the-cuff thing based off of what I just read. So I don't know for sure. Physics, how do they work? With magnets. Yeah. Water, fire, air, and dirt is all connected by frickin' magnets. How do they work? I don't understand quantum mechanics. It doesn't make sense. In quantum physics, electrons just pop up in different places. The same electrons. So, think about it like if I was like, okay, I'm getting in my truck to get groceries, and then somebody somehow took a picture of my truck like 2,000 miles away, and then I come back a little bit later, and I'm like, okay, I got groceries. And the groceries are from a store in Massachusetts. Like, I go to the grocery store down the road, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get groceries. Everything's good. And then in Los Angeles, somebody takes a picture of me getting groceries, right? And I get groceries. And then somehow I'm back in Massachusetts, and I have groceries from the store that I didn't even go to. That's quantum physics. It's weird, man. Strange stuff. Tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that. Gravitational perturbations from the moon is why the tides move out, Gnome. Unless that's a meme that I'm missing completely. A friend of mine published many papers on quantum computing. He once said, I don't understand the quantum world. It makes no sense, Koala. That's why there's that joke that nobody understands it. It doesn't make any sense. Old meme, but it checks out. Okay, yeah, okay, you're memeing. You're memeing. Sorry, I missed one. It's very rare that happens, but I do... but I usually get most of them, Gnome. I swear. I swear I do. Ask anybody in chat. You could say it's quirky. On the other hand, though, man, it'd be really nice if we had this. This is how I picture the Alcubierre drive in your brain. Yeah, right. Yeah. Like I said, guys, with enough energy, you can turn goat piss into gasoline if you really know what you're doing. There's so much stuff that we have to figure out with the universe. And you know what the crazy part is? That stuff could be used to... talking too much. That stuff could be used for better spacecraft propulsion. I mean, the sun warps space and time. It's a big fusion ball in the sky that warps space and time. Who says that if we don't make a compact fusion reactor at some point that it's going to do the same thing? And people are going to be like, the fusion is a myth. You know what I mean. I'm saying there's... the whole gist of this isn't about fusion or anything. It's about there's so much stuff out there that we don't dick about. It's like Men in Black, where he's like, let me tell you something about your skills, Slick. At this point, they mean precisely dick. I saw a guy turning plastic into car fuel. Plastic is petroleum-based, of course. Myths become reality when someone can make a good case for a military application. Yeah, Bill. Oh. Yeah, hypersonic missile. Oh, look, your hypersonic missile that you fired us just entered a black hole and it's gone. Shield generator. Just make an Alcubierre drive around the Navy ship. That would probably end very poorly. Oh, a missile's flying at my spacecraft? Nope, just got sucked into a black hole. Oh, man, that sucks. You come to clip my solar panels off? Oh, Alcubierre. Oh, your spacecraft, it doesn't exist anymore. It's in another dimension. Bye-bye. Yeah, bloody stuff. There you go. Did you see that the W12 is in iRacing now? Yeah, people have been telling me about it, Ruzzle. That's cool. Teleports behind you. Always has been. Wait, what? Yeah, Gujar, I agree. Oh man, this is the first time I saw your channel and I'm loving it. It's only been a few minutes. I'm glad, Koala. I usually talk about practical applications in space flight and stuff. That and cars. But yeah. STEM stuff. I like that. Particularly when it comes to space flight. That's my favorite. What if we send all of our nuclear weapons into a black hole? It's gonna have to do something. I don't... Joe, that would be like launching firecrackers into a vacuum cleaner. I don't... You know what? Something's gonna happen. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't want to know what it is. But I guarantee you that it probably wouldn't be good. I mean, it'd be funny, but not good. Yeah, that would be not ideal. I don't think we want that. What? There's an imposter Hoosier here? There's a bunch of Hoosiers here. Anyway. All right. Okay. I don't know, Rezzle. Firecrackers into a vacuum cleaner. Everything might be fine, but everything might not be fine. You know? Anyway. All right, let's that's a very interesting trip down the STEM fields there. I was able to break your brain with that one. All right.